Hello and welcome to the Old Man Orange podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Ryan Dunnigan.
And I'm King Gracie.
I'm glad you
Nice
say your
to
last
meet-
name. Nobody else says their last name, like almost like they're ashamed to be on our show.
Yeah.
I'm honored.
I'm John. Well, what's your last name?
Fuck you.
Oh. Yeah. Well, what were you doing with Spencer and Ryan earlier? Nothing. They just needed help with some stupid bullshit. I don't know what. Yeah.
Sounds stupid. I don't even know why I'm here in the first place.
Yeah.
Hold
They
on.
said maybe I'll do about everything.
Sam might be coming in later, but hopefully he makes it. He hasn't been on here since the Lone Ranger podcast.
Was that the one he was on?
He was on the Lone Ranger podcast. Yeah.
Did you see the Lone Ranger with us?
He saw Lone Ranger with us.
He must have. I don't know why else he would have been there.
Yeah.
God, the Lone That's so depressing.
You didn't like the Lone Ranger?
I did not like it a bit.
You know, I'm not going to say it was like the most amazing movie out there, but I enjoyed it. I will say it wasn't really the Lone Ranger. It was more like Tonto and then his like little bitch, the Lone Ranger.
Tonto and his gimp.
Oh my god. Okay, speaking of, we have this kind of ongoing bit. It's called Johnny Depp and his funny hats. Because if you ever notice, like in the last 15 years, every Johnny Depp movie pretty much is Johnny Depp and he's wearing a funny hat. That's a movie. That's his character.
Yeah.
He's in that movie. We saw the trailer for Into the Woods on
Yeah,
the
just
new
some
Lord of the
crazy,
Rings. And there's Johnny Depp with a stupid fucking ass hat on.
Like a cat or something.
Oh my god! I was like, boy, he just can't
Even in
outlive
Tusk,
those
funny
rules.
looking hat.
Exactly. It's
Dear
like all these
God,
movies
I
you think
can't
it'd be
think of
normal.
one. I really can't think of one. He's not
Even
wearing his
Sweeney
own hat.
Todd, he's not wearing a hat, but he's got
That
funny
thing's
looking hair.
really,
He's got
that's got to be a
ridiculous hair.
hat to some extent. It's got to count.
Well, yeah, it must be a wig. But you look at there's Alice in Wonderland, got a funny hat on.
Yeah.
There's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, he's got a funny hat on.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean, he's got a funny hat on.
At some point,
Lone Ranger's got a
Sleepy
funny
Hollow,
hat
he was
on.
wearing a funny hat.
Um,
At some point, maybe not the whole movie.
yeah, exactly.
What was that one? It's like the secret window where you
Yeah,
stabbed a dog or a
Secret
cat with
Window.
a screwdriver or something crazy like that. I think it's just normal and just nuts.
It's
And
a
that's the
Stephen
remake
King,
of,
it's a Stephen
um,
King
Yeah,
short
he's just
story.
bonkers.
Fucking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, never mind. I was thinking of
Yeah.
Rear Window, or not. Which one am I thinking? What's the one where the guys?
Disturbia. You think Disturbia with Shia
Yeah, but
LaBeouf?
Disturbia is a remake of the Alfred Hitchcock one.
Really?
Rearview
which-
Window.
Yeah, is that what it's called?
Yeah, it was
Maybe it's not
basically...
Rear View Window. Is it Rear Window?
Maybe it's Rear Window. I thought it was Rearview Window. Maybe it's Rear Window.
What's the one where the old man's on the wheelchair and he's looking out, and pretty much it just almost seems like an old man
Little
looking
man,
out like his
it's,
neighbor's
it's
fucking
Jimmy Stewart and his
jerking
prime.
off.
Like-
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like Jimmy Stewart just looking out the window like, yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Sure. Yeah.
That's right, Mrs. Cleveland. You take off that jacket there.
Oh, Miss
Nice and
Lone-
slow.
Mrs. Lonely Hearts once again crying in her sleep. Oh, it's nice. Yeah. he's not even like jerking off to sexy shit. He's just jerking off to really weird shit. Yeah, you hot.
Oh,
Oh, it's fucking hot. Yeah. Alfred Hitchcock's like, it stays in the movie. I don't care.
Oh, look, there's a small dog over there peeing on a fire hydrant. My favorite.
That got dark.
Somebody's getting married. Yeah. Well, fuck the guy getting married. That's not good stuff to jerk off on. I'm Jimmy Stewart here. I know what's best.
Oh, what's this? Oh, here the new groundskeeper's mowing the lawn. I like it. Yeah. I'll call him Jose Cuervo.
In fact, better give you some Jose
Yeah,
Cuervo.
that got dark quick.
Did you ever feel like you might be in that experience someday where you're like got the rear window thing going on, where you're looking outside your window and it happens to me when I go to hotels because there's no windows that look at people at my house. But you know when you're looking outside a hotel, you're just like, I wonder if somebody's gonna get murdered out there. I just wonder, will I be the one that witnesses it from like my 28th floor, view?
I have a little bit. 'Cause I work in different like spots around town, around San Francisco. So kind of does it. A lot of the times they put me at these spots. It's like, okay, I don't want to talk to it, so you put it over here at this booth by itself, and maybe other people will talk to it, and he'll sell them a bike. So basically, they just kind of maroon me out these spots by myself for a while. So I see a lot of like, I kind of have time to people watch because there is like a lot of just people that kind of stay within the same area, primarily like hobos and drug addicts. So I kind of come up with names for them, like, oh, there's TP, Tourette's Filipino. There's There's one guy. I have several people all named after the seven deadly sins because they all have some kind of defining attribute that links them to that. There's like a really fat lady. Like, okay, that's like really fat lady who yells.
Gluttony.
Path.
She's just like picking up trash cans and just like inhaling them fucking
Basically.
Kirby style.
Gluttony. So that's
Then she squats down really quickly and turns
Shoots
into like
out.
a McDonald's character.
So that's Glutz. Yeah, that's Glutz. You got Wrath, which is just some angry, like skinny crackhead that like just screams at anybody. He'll like almost intentionally bump into somebody, like "fuck you, motherfucker, get the fuck away from me," But he'll like actually bump into somebody himself, Like a
Just
fucking
running down the
character.
street, arms flailing, knocking over like
fucking
postcards
characters
and
with
t-shirt
Adventure Time
racks.
or whatever. Fucking the spinny like two noodle arms or whatever the fuck. Let's keep it to what we know. I don't even know. I just see that picture of just
Yeah,
the
exactly.
fucking dog and
The-
the kid doing this shit. I don't know what the fuck that is. Six, what we know. Popeye.
Like rubber hosing,
Olive
like it's
oil,
back
all
in
that
the
shit.
day. Yeah, rubber hosing.
Yeah, Rob
All that,
Fleischer
like,
and all that.
Fleischer stuff.
It's kind of weird. You can go from like, oh, he's really well known for Popeye stuff. Like, oh, he also did all this really badass Superman stuff too, though. Mm-hmm.
I know, good looking stuff too. That animation holds up so well too. I was only watching it, a couple months ago or something like that again. And I was just like, this animation is better than almost anything that comes out today. That's almost kind of sad, almost in a way. I'm too sure like if that's like a pinnacle or something like that. Just like, okay, this stuff made 70 years ago is better than a lot of the stuff we're doing today.
I think a lot of people don't rotoscope as much. I think when you rotoscope it, I think you're giving a much better chance of actually looking pretty good.
Yeah, well, I think like nowadays too, like they're sort of like almost that digital rotoscoping, where you just kind of have it in a computer and you can also trace over like a digital kind of character in a sense, or
Like Scanner Darkly
if you
or
got
something.
that's different though. That's like literal rotoscope. I was always thinking like a lot of animation too. They could even take a 3D model character that either they attach it to a live action actor and then draw over that if they want to, but computer doing half the work. I just think it just doesn't have that neat, like that the look when you think of rotoscoping.
Yeah. Well, I notice every so often you'll watch something and there'll be a part where, okay, they probably used rotoscoping to an effect at this part, maybe this fight scene or whatever. But every so often you could see they tried it and halfway through, like, no, this ain't working out. Stop it. Fuck it. We'll just go back to the Jeep shit. Like, there's that Afro Samurai part movie or anime. You've seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
At one point, like, it's just generally traditional Japanese anime. They try rotoscoping, but they try it on the weirdest part. Like the Samuel Jackson, I guess there's two Samuel Jackson characters. Afro Samurai gets poisoned and Ninja comes up behind him. It's all super rotoscopy and super like fluid all of a sudden.
It's pretty
And
weird.
it's just like, and he's like, it's where the line like, oh shit, you going fucked up, Holmes. And he's just like moving so weird. It just all of a sudden like, it's like, all right, this is too expensive. Just go back to the regular shit. All right, yeah.
Well, it's weird too when it comes in all of a sudden. You're just like you were used to just some regular animation, nothing fancy. This is almost television animation, and then all of a sudden there's somebody rotoscoped in. You're like, oh, well, did somebody just get magical like donation today? Like, oh, somebody just donated us like $10,000. What are we gonna do? Let's rotoscope this 10 seconds.
Well, we the interns did this, and they're trying to be all artsy and shit. They're a bunch of art school students, so fuck them. We gave it to them, didn't tell them to get the fuck out. Not paying them,
Well,
But it usually works out.
The good rotoscoping I think of is always like that Ralph Bakshi and then like Heavy Metal. Those two kind of like movies. Either his Ralph Bakshi's movies from the like late 70s or so into early 80s, and then Heavy Metal 1. I guess the second one sort of has it in it, but not nearly as much.
Ralph Bakshi, his movies at times, even though I like what I've seen, at times just feel awkward. I mean, I'd almost feel more awkward. Like, all right, here's some weird, raunchy, hardcore porn, and here's Fritz the Cat. I'd almost feel more awkward showing someone Fritz the Cat than some weird, hardcore porn, really.
Have you ever seen a Ralph Bakshi movie?
I haven't.
Okay, what they are is he's pretty much the guy who said like, you know what, I'm going to take animation, I'm going to make it for adults. So he made this one called like Fritz the Cat, and it's pretty much like it takes place in the 60s. It was made like in 72. But he's this like New York cat guy, he's going to art school, I think.
Free love.
And he thinks he knows what the whole free love, he's a hippie, kind of enjoying it. He thinks he knows what the world's about, but really he's just kind of kid is in high school, everything's kind of paid for him and whatnot, so he doesn't know the streets,
Okay.
And then he tries to go hang off all the black guys, which are all the black crows, kind of like in, was it Dumbo they come from?
Yeah, they all look like crows from Dumbo, basically.
Yeah.
He said, I'm really sorry for what my people did to your people.
Terribly
He's a cat. Very
racist.
much.
Well, the whole point was like, he was pointing out like all like the flaws in Disney stuff.
No.
Ralph Bakshi
There's
was
even
always
a
like
part
so
where, like,
anti-Disney.
Well, Disney stuff was
a race
traumatizing
riot
once I grew
breaks
up.
out like
Good
in
God.
Harlem, like all the crows are like flipping cars and shit. And all of a sudden you see jets coming in, and you see silhouettes of like Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, like, yeah, bomb them, kill them all, woo!
Like American flag and they're waving and everything. But no, the weird thing about the movie though is it's got like a lot of like nudity, but they're all like cartoon animals, so it's like cats and birds and cows and
There's a rape scene
That is
too.
really-
that's kind of the weird
really
part about it.
awkward.
I kid you not,
Yeah.
that's actually a really.
Oh God.
And then to top it off,
Dear God.
Fritz the Cat's just a really shitty person. He like has this friend who like bends over backwards to help him, and then he just fucking like leaves her, in the middle of the fucking like desert when they're like traveling to California.
Which I think in the comic, because this is based on a comic, I think they kept it all the same except for the ending. In the comic, she comes back and kills him when he's in the hospital bed. So
Oh yeah, I think we talked about that. But no, I kid you not, it's actually a really good movie, totally worth checking out.
it's
Especially it really tells a time period of like that 60s, late
Okay.
60s era.
It's also though, it's definitely one of those movies. Like we have a couple of movies. Like, all right, this is not a first date movie. Like, that's not a first date movie. Clockwork Orange, not a first date
No.
movie.
Just not like a 15th date movie. Just
No, yeah,
years
it's
down
one of
the
those
road.
movies. Yeah, you got to watch it with somebody who's very open minded, or two, you just watch it by yourself. And
You wait till you've been together for like maybe 3 years. Like, okay, now there's something I wanted to.
And then
yeah, maybe, yeah. Like, have a few drinks and I'm like, okay, yeah, I want to show you this movie called Clockwork Orange. It's very artistic, but it's very
we're having a double feature night. We're gonna watch Clockwork Orange and Fritz the Cat. It really explains the 70s well. I guess late
Be
60s,
open-minded.
70s. Both got rape in them. Hope you like rape. I like my rape of a side of pizza, but that's just me.
Is Ralph actually still? Go ahead.
Is he
Sorry,
still
go
making
ahead.
movies? Is what you're saying?
I was gonna ask, is he still alive?
I don't know, because the last time he came off movies in like the 90s. He had the Cool World one with the Pit, and then he had some other live action movie I've never seen before.
The Pit.
Got a little Pit.
The Pit Bull.
The Pit Bull, the Brad Pitt.
I can just see him like answering going like, "Yo, you got the Pit." Or,
Yo, is this the Pit Bull?
Something like that.
I want the Pit Bull in my next picture.
It's in his contract. They have to refer to it as the Pit Bull.
Well, we went and saw the third Hobbit movie today.
Go ahead, spoil it for me. It's all good.
Oh, you're not getting spoiled because one,
Yeah.
you already know the story, but two, it's really good. Don't get me wrong, but it is literally just like the ending of number 2 if they just put it into like a 2-hour-long movie,
Yeah, pretty
Really?
much.
and that's what it feels like. It just feels like a third act of a movie, but that's like the whole movie.
The first
It's just a bunch of fighting, pretty much.
Yeah,
rarely.
it's pretty much it's two things. It's pretty much let's fight Smaug and kill him and get him out of the way, and then a bunch of orcs come, we'll fight them. Day saved. Awesome. Thumbs
Oh.
up.
Yeah,
So it all kind of takes place in the same like 2-mile radius, the whole movie, basically.
basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's not like it's bad. Totally worth watching. I really enjoyed it, but it is kind of like it just feels like they literally chopped the ending off number 2 and just said, "Here, we'll just save that till next year."
Yeah, the first 5 minutes was the climax, and that was it. It was depressing.
Is it like hours of just kind of like hobbits and orcs kicking each other in the balls, or is it still they chop it down?
It was like 2.5 hours of like,
It's a little bit
Kinda,
short. It's
yeah.
definitely shorter than the last 2 ones.
2.5 hours is short for a Rings movie.
exactly.
I almost want to say it was less than 2.5 hours. I want to say it was
Yeah.
like 2 hours and like 15 minutes or something, because
Yeah.
you got to just include the long credits too.
Just barely pushed 2 hours.
The last one, even though it was good, even though I'll be honest, I like Desolation of Smog more than the first
Yeah.
Hobbit movie.
Whatever the fuck it's called.
I thought
Yeah, it's like the journey.
the ending of it, Hobbit.
That's what I mean. It's like,
you know.
I don't know. I don't remember what the. It's like,
You know which one.
a Hobbit's
I-
journey.
Yeah, the journey begins or whatever the fuck. I don't know. Like this Hobbit has shit to do. Yeah, that's cool.
For
No,
once in his life.
This what was it? Like the ending for number 2 literally could have been like just Peter Jackson walking out like, yeah, we're gonna end on a rough cliffhanger like there. Fuck you. You'll be back next year. Drops the microphone, walks off the stage. That's really what the next one could have been. That song like my dick's bigger than your dick starts to play. He walks away.
That's that fuck.
Yeah.
Thanks for your money. I know I'll get it next year from you too.
Fuck you. I already got your money. You'll be back. I know it.
I'm Peter Jackson. I could rape your wife and you would still come see my movies.
Like,
in front of you, while looking you in the eyes and eating a hot dog at the same time.
Then you look over to your wife. I'm sorry, honey. He's right. She's like, no, I understand.
Right, I'm gonna go see Hobbit 3.
I get it. It's cool.
I'll be there too. You know, it's okay. Guillermo del Toro's gonna fuck me in the face next, so it's okay.
Oh.
He's like, yeah, I know. I'll be there too.
What's this episode gonna be called? Rape and Hobbits.
The Rape and Hobbits.
Rape and Hobbits for this episode. Yeah.
Oh, did anybody get raped in that? There was a part where like the one elf chick almost got raped in the movie because like one of the orcs literally pushed her up against the wall, like her face facing the wall. And I was like,
I thought it was gonna happen.
Yeah, I was like, oh whoa, are they going there? Looking like
this was not in the book at all.
Orcs raping elves.
He's like Peter
Just
Jackson.
looking at Legolas like, fuck you, fuck you, Legolas.
That's another thing. Legolas decided to be super manly and grow a jaw because in the past, the three
Very
movies.
dainty.
He has this little he's dainty and like he's an elf. He looks like a woman, just without tits. And in this one, he gets some like big like manly jaw, and finally starts to be a man, even though he's supposed to be a younger version of himself. So he like hit reverse puberty.
I don't know. Orlando Bloom grew this big chin to like come back in Lord of the Rings.
Compensate for the early years.
It was surgery. They had to get like Peter Jackson's like, look, man, you want to be back, you got to get a fucking chin. You know, so plastic surgery.
Something like that. I don't know, but that's one thing I know, especially when you're sitting in the theaters. But I don't know. Overall, very good picture. But it is just like you're watching the ending of a movie.
Yeah.
I imagine like what the smog thing. I almost imagine the way this one would open up is just like the very last shot of the last one was the dragon head towards the town. I imagine just like, you know, Hobbit 3 or whatever. Opens up the dragon, arrow goes right through it, distant shot, just falls down. Oh, that was easy. You know?
Yeah, and about 5 minutes before that, and that's what it
about
was.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 minutes, actually.
Really? It took really only like probably 10 minutes to kill the smog in
Yeah,
this movie?
fucking Dracula, he's up there on the tower, and he's like shooting.
Launches this thing at it.
Yeah, he just shoots.
Dracula?
Oh, that's the guy who played Dracula and Dracula Untold.
Oh, is that like the fisherman guy from the last
exactly.
one?
Yeah, the guy who kind of like fucked up. He had all those arrows, and he missed every single goddamn time.
Oh, okay. Does this kid shoot it down? Doesn't his kid actually be the one to shoot it down?
No, they actually do something kind of interesting. Like the kid comes up there, he's like, "What the fuck are you doing, Billy?" And he's like, "Dad, you forgot the arrow." He's like, "Oh, sweet. Well, that's good. I'm glad you came. Now get the fuck out of here." And then Smog comes by and runs over the whole tower.
I really wish you
like
rewrite the scripts.
And they're like barely hanging on. The kid's hanging over it. In my head, I actually really thought like I could see the dad just fucking lean over, and go like,
"Give me the arrow!
Give me the arrow!" Dad, I need music. Don't give me the arrow. Throw me the arrow!
Just make it that much more fucked up. He takes him to the
And
kid
then
and leans in, like, almost that kind of, like, long live the king thing, and Lion King leans in, like, you were a mistake, and, like, kicks the kid's feet, slow motion shot.
And then, like, for some reason he's got claws on now and just, like, slams them down to his hands.
Throws him off like that.
But no, then, like, they get up, and then, like, Smog's out there, and he's, like, taunting him and whatnot. And then fucking Dracula picks up the bow and it's broken. He's like, and Smog's just like, oh, you fucking cunt. You don't have anything to shoot me down now, bitch. So next thing he does is fucking Dracula fastens up this like makeshift bow and puts the arrow over his son's shoulders and just says, hang on, boy. And pulls it back. Literally, he's got this arrow going across his shoulder. This fucking ginormous silver arrow to take down a dragon. And then shoots it across. Really just hoping that the fucking feathers on the arrow is just not gonna like cut his face up. It's actually a pretty cool scene though.
Well, that would be like a good way to imagine like that would probably get him a lot of pussy though. That scar, like how'd you get that scar? Well, I was a bow to shoot an arrow at a fucking dragon.
Yeah.
Wait.
My
So you shot a
dad
bow and arrow?
needed-
No, I was the bow. I was the fucking bow.
My dad was shooting the arrow. He needed a bow. I was the perfect thing for a makeshift one.
Well, that's the. Or what if it just backfires? I was like, oh, that's great. Where's your dad at? Well, no, I was the bow. Yeah, that's great. Where's your dad? I'm like, fuck. This never works.
Maybe if you were the arrow, that might be kind of cool. But the
Just
bow,
shot
I'm
the
not-
kid. The kid just like fucking lunged forward right into like Smog's eye. Just like you see this kid, like, 2 legs shaking, like trying to kick it like out of his eye socket. You know.
He just kind of puts on like a helmet and whatnot, almost like launching how Sean William Scott's does in like Dukes of Hazzard movie. You know, he puts the helmet on, he just starts diving across.
Freeze frames like
Like almost
looks like them fishermen folk are in some glasses. You know. What about you know? Cut back to what the Hobbits are
Almost like he's
doing.
getting blasted out of a cannon. It's pretty much like he's getting blasted out of a cannon, like
exactly.
a circus.
So they kill Smog in the first 15 minutes of the movie. I'll be generous, 15 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much. And then like they go, "Oh, our town was destroyed. Well, look over there. There's a giant dwarf town, and nobody's gonna fucking like live there. So let's go there and live. Plus, that fucking dwarf promised me he was gonna give me half his gold."
Being a dick and takes everything.
So yeah, they go over there, and then gold curse, as always, just like anyway, everywhere else, money's cursed. Whoever's got a lot of money's mostly a jerk.
Basically, like the Panther Cave in Aladdin. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, that place where they store all the shit.
Like, don't touch the fucking gold. The one thing you gotta
do. Whatever you do, don't touch the gold. You can have that lamp, which is actually worth way more than the gold, but don't touch the fucking gold. Mm. But so they're in there, and then by this point, how many dwarves are left? Did any of them die in the last one?
I think all the dwarves lived.
Yeah,
okay.
Until this
so all the dwarves are just kind of like hanging out, like 13 dwarves and a hobbit. Pretty much are sharing, more gold than anybody needs for like an entire world. Mm. And they're like, "This is our area. This is our keep now." So they board themselves all up inside there. And then fucking Dracula comes by and he's all like, "Yo," he's like, "You promised me some money, but my people need it. We need to rebuild our civilization." And then the head dwarf guy's like, "Nah, I don't want to give you anything. Actually, this is my gold, my family. Fuck you."
Fuck off.
And like literally, that's kind of how it is. So then, like the elves come by and they're like, "Yo, we want some of the. He's got some of our shit too. We all want a piece of this fucking gold and treasure and all our stuff." For some reason, that dragon's collected things over all the years from every civilization and buried it in there.
I just see like right before. I don't know if he does. I don't remember the book well enough. But Thorin, that's the main dwarf, right? Thorin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy who's being kind of the douchebag now. He's being like cursed by his money.
He's the bad guy. He's becoming the bad guy, right?
He's pretty much just becoming just like Smog. Even starts talking like him at some points.
Yeah.
He just like what if it just like he's like that that video of Biggie Smalls where he's died, like more money, more problems, like on his deathbed, basically.
Yeah, literally. Except he's not on his deathbed. He's just kind of like sitting there in like his like castle with like nobody around him.
I just thought it was funny, just like the idea of just this. I mean, I always find like the dumbest, smallest things funny, but just the idea of this dragon. I'm going to sleep in my fucking gold. Just literally, all the things you can do.
So uncomfortable.
It's like he's pretty much like Scrooge McDuck.
Well, he's worse than Scrooge McDuck. Scrooge McDuck, like, okay.
Well, Scrooge McDuck's kind of like he's like the lovable, like kind of like super rich Republican guy that nobody can really relate to, but we all seem to like want to be fucking Huey, Louie, and Dewey.
Give a pass, somewhere in there, somewhere in that crusty, angry, bitter old shell, there's a heart. Smog though is just kind of like, no, this is my gold. Fuck you. The only time I leave the cave is to fucking kill something.
It's kind of weird. They never really explain why does a dragon need so much like gold and treasures.
He's a prick.
Yeah,
it's just like I can never really figure. It's like, why does he want all that? I mean, just like to be cool or something. Like, I don't know. Does that make him like?
Now, if they get all this gold from different places, do they store it in a evil? Do they store it in an evil cave with curse shit, or did the dragon leave a curse, or is just all this gold they get from other places cursed, or what?
I guess everything. Gandalf sort of explains at some point that this. Dwarf building is pretty much built on something evil that's going to, affect what's the main bad guy of this?
Indian burial ground thing?
Yeah, pretty much orc burial ground. Let's just use that, I guess. Yeah. I don't know how else to describe it. What's his Sauron? Sauron's the fucking... Sauron. Sauron kind of like it, like this area right here is kind of like somewhat cursed, way back in the day, and that's why that money's all cursed and everything like that. And that's the whole reason the orcs want that area. Is because that's the other people. Okay, everybody wants that area. Everyone wants whether they want the gold, the jewels, or just the land itself. Somebody wants a piece of that action there.
Like this is some fantastic real estate. Gold aside.
Literally, this is really what it is. It's a matter of like real estate and then like Fort Knox.
You got ocean. You got like a great ocean view, mountain view. You got it all.
I'm surprised Goldfinger didn't show up there. I'm surprised that Goldfinger just didn't show up until.
Well, I guess they are by the same company. Wow. Well, wait, no, that was MG. No, never mind. No, it's Sony. Sony now owns whatever. Sony now owns 007, so never mind. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
at the time, I guess you could say because this was an MGM and New Line.
Yeah, because Warner Brothers bought MGM. This has like three things on it. It has New Line, MGM, Warner Brothers, and then whatever actual production company. So.
I'm kind of surprised that Warner Brothers, since they own all that, they just didn't want to go like, Hobbit, 1, 2, and 3, let's just slap our fucking Warner Brothers logo all over it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, why would you not want that?
Yeah, well, it was weird.
Think about it. Like, that's like such a humongous property.
That's a jackpot right there.
Well, it was weird because what they did is like, okay, it came out by New Line, then New Line like sold it to MGM. MGM went out of business, and then Warner Brothers eventually bought New Line and MGM. So then I got.
Well, New Line was bought by like Warner Brothers in I want to say the late '90s.
I'm surprised they didn't throw Hobbit right on that then, because that was like one of the big that was one of the first. They say it's independent. It's not fucking independent. I don't care how you spin it. They like New Line. Like I want to say Hobbit was the biggest, or not Hobbit. The Lord of the Rings movies were like the biggest movies up to that point produced by New Line.
Yeah, I want to say they were because the first
before was like Ninja Turtles. And
say Ninja Turtles was the first thing they made a ton of money, but those movies weren't like highly budgeted. They just made a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
So. But where we at? Oh yeah, so everybody wants a piece of that real estate. Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm.
So then at this point, now we just get this humongous battle that's literally probably like an hour and a half long, it's all badass. There's cool fights everywhere. There's the orcs are going in, huge armies of elves, and fucking then this like second dwarf army appears at some point that's like, cousins or something, whatever, to the main dwarf guy. And then who else comes? Gandalf shows up. Fucking and then also like that.
More orcs. And more orcs.
Yeah, there's like these tremor things too that like get the orcs there, which I thought they were gonna like fight those. Weird. Well, these tremor things appear. They're like digging these holes, and at first there's a scene too. They're like, "Oh, this is our fast way to get through, the land that nobody knows about." And you just see these giant holes, and you're just going, "Oh, is there tremors? I don't remember tremors fucking." And like,
shit, probably could have come in handy in the like later 3 movies.
It's like I was like, where the hell are these tremor things from? I don't remember that ever in the book, but maybe they were. And then they appear, the tremor things are like, well, there you go, we got you there. We're like, that's it, we're like a taxi cab service. Later. Yeah, see ya. You're like, oh, those aren't going to fight anybody? It's like, those tremor things really probably could have taken everybody out, and then fucking the orcs would just went, oh, that was easy.
Were they like, they're like basically worm?
Yeah, they look just like tremors.
Just like tremors.
Just like tremors, okay.
Bigger.
Yeah, probably bigger actually,
Huge.
yeah. Like, they could have ate like 30 Kevin Bacons in one bite.
Okay. The Kevin Bacon scale. We got to.
And then all of a sudden, those tremor things appear, and Kevin Bacon's there to stop them, and all this stuff. This movie just becomes like this collage of a bunch of other movies you know and love.
Like, what are we gonna do? And just like the crowd starts partying. Like Kevin Bacon with a sawed-off shotgun just kind of walks out. Like, I got this.
I've done this before. I've been sent back in time to help out Middle Earth.
There's just, you see the DeLorean back there. It's just this huge, like, cross franchise. We already pissed people off by making 3 movies out of this. Might as well make a lot more money and just throw a bunch of other franchises.
The Warner Brothers movie, just throw Batman in there. That always sells.
It worked with Lego Movie, right?
Yeah.
It worked with Hobbit.
I'm waiting for Batman to be, like, kind of just thrown in a bunch of other random stuff now. Like, if he can be in the Lego Movie, what else can he be in?
I don't know. I wonder it's how long before they do kind of like, I guess closest thing we have to it is Avengers, but I guess like the Wreck-It Ralph or Roger Rabbit of like comic book characters, but that's probably some time off maybe.
Are you talking about a movie that'd be kind of like a Last Action Hero sort of, where like some kid really likes comics, and then he gets to go into the comic world, and then the comic book characters come into his world, but they're all like animated and whatnot? That'd be a sweet movie.
That'd be really sweet. Good God.
I think that
they'll probably be a little while off, but probably closer than we would have been like probably 20 years ago though.
I always think that Last Action Hero style movie, even though like the movies that always use it never seem to pan out as well, and Last Action Hero, its fault more than anything else, I think, was just coming out around Jurassic Park. I think if Last Action Hero would have came out around nothing else that was important,
and probably the amount of money they put into like advertising by shooting a satellite into space,
like Arnold Schwarzenegger painted on the side, that's just totally badass.
And it just so like. And it was kind of sad because, like, oh yeah, that movie I remember we were advertising that, and kind of shot up in space like six months after it was on VHS.
Yeah, but other than that, though, I think that movie, like, it just wrong timing. And I think the other thing that movie just probably would have topped it off. It should have been rated R. But other than that, that's still like in my top 3 favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies.
Oh, that's a great movie. I love Last Action Hero. That's a terrific
But
movie.
I just think that concept is such a great one. And even though this movie's not nearly as good as that, but it's still a good concept, was The Forbidden Kingdom. Okay, did you ever see that?
I was about to say that, Forbidden Kingdom.
Because that's like the same thing, too, where it's like this kid's obsessed with martial arts, He gets, sent back in time, and then he gets to pretty much hang out with Jet Li and Jackie Chan, even though they're playing other characters. But
it made a lot of nods to like martial arts movies within it, and like little here and there with like through lines, and like the bride with the white hair and all that kind of stuff, So that was cool, but I might need to watch that movie again. I mean, it has one of the coolest fight scenes I've ever seen in a movie, Jet Li and Jackie Chan, but it was almost kind of like get rid of the air quotes relatable character and just bring in like let's just just Jackie Chan. Like all it had to be was like because Jackie Chan was basically playing the drunken master. So
yeah, he was drunken
Jackie
master.
Chan,
and then Jet Li was pretty much like his character from what's those early '90s ones called?
Legend or
Legend. That's it. Yeah,
yeah.
That's kind of like what he reminded me of.
They kind of a little bit of Goku because he became like the Monkey King or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's I want to say that was sort of in those Legend movies too. I can't remember them.
He's all that movie really had to be. I mean, I don't want to say I got to watch it again. I understand, but I would have been totally fine with that movie. It's just like no kid, no whole little ragtag crew that's trying to stop this evil empire. Just like Jackie Chan taking shots at a bar. Jet Li like bumps into him like out of my way, you sloppy fuck.
An hour and a half later, just like complete fighting.
They're just like fighting and destroying the whole. You're just like an hour and a half of just those two fighting their way through a village. That would have been fine with me.
Just like breaking each other through walls and windows and tables and trees.
People would say that get. People would say that get boring. Not to me. That'd be like that's all.
Oh my god! Anybody who loves martial arts would be like just be coming on the screen.
Exactly. And then at some point.
Oh hey, what's up, man?
Yo, Sam, what's going on?
By the time he gets here.
Hey, Sam.
Okay, we got an extra guest coming in.
Howdy, howdy.
Okay, you sit there. You guys are gonna do something weird and share headphones like you're a couple little girls.
It's okay.
Like
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Or is this stupid? Do we need to like set up some other way to do this?
Sam.
What's up, Ryan?
That looks like the most uncomfortable thing ever. Like
I just realized that this one's blown.
I'm doing pretty good. We're very uncomfortable.
Let's go like this, and you can share with Spencer, because this one's snapped and fucked up and broken.
Well, I got another one in there too, but I don't have another splitter.
Alright,
Sorry, Sam, you come in
I'm
here
gonna
nice
kneel
to
for
you.
this.
Yeah,
Well, we
you fucking
should
knew
do-
it.
Fuck you in your headphones.
What we should do is as soon as Sam comes in, we should add in like a studio audience, like woo, like whenever Kramer or somebody enters the room.
Oh, exactly, and I'll do the whole like.
Whoa, what's happening, guys? Or, don't
Exactly.
believe what happened to me.
We were just talking about. Did you ever see that movie Forbidden Kingdom?
I think I have.
It was Jackie Chan and Jet Li, and it was kind of like
yeah.
Last Action Hero, where a kid like is obsessed with martial arts, and then he gets sent back in time to like pretty much be in martial arts world and live his dreams and fantasies, like we all wish we did. Okay. Here's a question for everybody here: if you could be sent to one, of your favorite worlds, whether it be video game, comic, movies, you could be the kid from fucking Last Action Hero. You get one thing to go into. What would it be?
Oh, totally Star Wars universe.
Sam says Star Wars. Caden, you want to think a little bit more?
Yeah.
Dunnigan, what would you go into?
Oh shit, I'm thinking about all the places I want to go, but the thing about the places I want to, all my favorite things, there's a lot of death and murder there. So I'm just trying to think. Like I love Batman, but I ain't Batman though. I could be in Batman's world, but I'm gonna be like, oh shit, Gotham City, Joker's gonna erupt and shoot me in the fucking face, So I'm trying to think. I'll get back to you on that one.
Well, it's kind of like, I really like the Alien movie. Well, no. You're like, no. You know where I'd go, though? This is my place. I'd go to the Pokemon world.
Oh my god, that's brilliant.
Because, the Pokemon world's kind of safe, at least for human-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there is that off chance that, you could get a Charizard get fucking angry at you because you don't have enough badges and he ends up killing you. Yeah. They never talk about that in Pokemon, but we all know that happens every once in a while.
If Pokemon get euthanized, what happens with that? They just, leave them in their ball, or that we gotta put this fucker down, and this... Go the way of old Yeller.
Before I run you over.
Take him out back.
I don't know though. If you're Team Rocket though.
Yeah, Pikachu's foaming at the mouth. Like, I'm sorry, Pikachu.
Exactly. So you don't know what could happen to you there. Dunnigan, did you say where you want to go?
You know what? If I hang out with him, I will survive. It'll be a lot of fun adventures. The Fistful of Dollars world. The Clint Eastwood. If I'm with Clint Eastwood and I'm best friends with Clint Eastwood,
If you're with Clint Eastwood, well, I don't know though, but look at the other people that have been with Clint Eastwood in that movie. They didn't pan out so well. You might end up being the ugly.
No, he
I don't
ends
mean that in
up-
a bad way.
well,
But
no,
like,
I don't.
you might be used. He might be like, okay, go get. You're gonna get hanged, and at the last second, I'm gonna save you, Dunnigan.
Well, I'm not a dick like Eli Wallach was in that movie. So I think I'm okay as long as I'm just like I'll be his total whipping bitch. I'll be like, yeah, whatever you want, Mr. Eastwood. Like that's not my name. Oh, what's your name again? I got no. Oh, that's right. You don't got a name. I'm sorry. It's
And then he just spits tobacco in your face.
yeah. I'll take it. I'll take it. Whatever. As long as I'm with you, I'll survive. Like yeah. Just keep telling yourself that. So.
Till that the last 20 guys that try to follow me.
Well, no, they all no. The only one that ever really. I'm thinking all the people that followed him, they always survived. There's the old dude that was helping him out in Fistful of Dollars, who helped build him the little metal slab thing. That dude survived.
Yeah, that's true.
He helped. He had to punch the bitch out first, but he helped that Mexican family get away.
That's true there.
And then Fistful of Dollars. Lee Van Cleef was playing him, but it was the good Lee Van Cleef. He helped. They're after the same bounty. They had to get punched in the face a few times. They eventually became friends and both survived the movie. So.
Huh. There we go. I think that'd work
Yeah,
out
so
well.
go on some adventures with Clint Eastwood in Fistful of Dollars world. Why not? But then I'll probably die of like tuberculosis like 2 weeks in, or a common cold or whatever.
It's okay. Then you go hang off Doc Holliday. He's got all the secrets there for that.
Like, oh well, you got a runny nose, so we got to saw your leg off. Wait, what?
What does that have to do with anything? It's like, I don't know. It's just something I haven't tried yet. That's all I have to say. I'm a doctor here.
Oh shit! I should have picked Sonic the Hedgehog. What did I do this for?
Dude, Sonic the Hedgehog would be sweet. As long as you could be able to just running behind Sonic the whole time, like somehow, some way you get the powers of Sonic.
The only thing about that, though, is you're in a world with other animal creatures, and the only other human is Dr. Robotnik, and eventually you're like, man, I gotta... At least there's human woman in Clint Eastwood land, so,
Well, one day you're just gonna be like, me and this rabbit here are just gonna...
Sneak up in the bushes.
She's got handlebars,
Well, I don't know. It's either that or you'd end up being like that kid in Sonic X. Where like you happen to be this child.
Nobody wants humans in Sonic. Nobody wants humans in Sonic unless Robotnik.
No, the only human we have is Robotnik, and the whole point is to hate humans.
Yes.
And love animals.
Sonic. Sonic. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
God, I just understood that.
Well, have you ever looked at Sonic the Hedgehog before? It's just kind of like Dr. Robotnik's this like evil guy who's just building.
Asshole.
Yeah, who's just building, cities and like drilling for oil and like enslaving animals.
My
making
childhood
robots
is ruined right now.
Yep.
And Sonic's
Dear
just
God.
this freedom fighter, eating chili dogs and like busting up machines.
Hidden messages.
Now, Sam, if you're in Star Wars, now what part of Star Wars would you want to be in or with or so on?
Like time era or just in general, like people.
You pick it. What time would you want to go to? Who would you want to be hanging out with?
Movies, which episode?
Oh no, I'll go toward the books there.
All right, there you go.
I'll go with the Book of Revan, dude.
Okay, well you're gonna have to explain that to all of us. I know.
Oh, you guys played the Old Republic, right? The game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when that time era happens.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's like before when Revan loses his mind, fights his own Padawan. Oh,
Sorry,
yep, microphone's over there.
Just talk towards the microphone. I know you're all like twisted around in probably the most
I'm going back to kneeling.
uncomfortable seat known to
That's what she said.
mankind.
Yeah, it's one leg. I'm not on both knees, all right? So no knee pads necessary.
You were.
But no, it's just during that time. It's just like the Old Republic. You go in there, you fight along with Revan as one of the Jedi's. Probably die off.
Why are
real
you wearing the
quick.
headphone on the right side? No wonder I got no
Use your
room.
brain, Sam.
Oh, come on, that was supposed to go on that side.
Oh, God
dropping.
bless America.
It goes there.
It's like no wonder like my head kept like going over that direction.
There we go. And then I just want a lightsaber, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I just, like,
We can all say we want a lightsaber.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to chop some wood? Okay. Right there. Done. Cheese? Done. Anything else? Done.
A human
Well,
being.
maybe.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
of course. I was working up to
practical
it.
things.
At some point, that's gonna cross your mind.
Exactly.
I don't like this guy,
Oh,
but
what?
I do have a lightsaber.
Fuck this guy. And his arm.
Now, Caden, what world would you want to go to?
I'm thinking about it. I think I'd have to say Jurassic Park, solely because I'm not black, and I'm not an asshole, so I'm not gonna die. And I can chill with some crazy...
Yeah, but Eddie
cat.
Carr got torn in half.
But they never
Muldoon.
die.
Muldoon.
He died.
Well, yeah. But he was an asshole.
Muldoon?
Eddie Carr in Lost World?
Yeah, wasn't he?
No, he was the guy who kind of had all the technology.
Oh, shit. Well...
Yeah, and Muldoon died too, and he's one of the most badass characters.
Right. Well, I applied no thought to this question whatsoever.
Right. You just use my
Duke
strategy.
Nukem.
You know?
There we go. Duke
There you
Nukem.
go.
Just
There you go.
be a badass with big titties.
Wait,
There you go.
you want big titties,
No,
or do you want to be Duke
have big
Nukem?
titties. Be Duke Nukem.
I didn't know if you want, like, if that's the case, maybe you should be in heavy metal or something.
Yeah.
You
I
could
just got
fucking
the
have
image
like
of, like-
6 nipples and everything.
That's my plan.
I just got the image of Duke
We'll be
Nukem,
both.
just a big buff Duke Nukem just happens to have like an awesome fucking rack. I just got that image in my head.
Did you ever see Heavy Metal 2000, Caden?
No, I don't think I did.
Okay, well, you know in Total Recall the chick's got 3 boobs.
Yeah.
They topped it up in that one. There's a chick that has 6 boobs in it.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
What do you do with that?
Just stare at all
Slap
of
him
them.
around. I don't know.
There's just some... No.
You
That's
play,
like a whole new
you play the
test on
drums,
its own.
alright?
But the ones on the bottom, how do you
Exactly.
get the ones on the bottom? You gotta like fall and like bitch slap those things.
Yeah, but
to
you
get 'em
gotta
down.
do the up and down motion and the side to side.
They're kind of like it's like having 6 of those door stoppers.
That's way too much work. Like two is more than enough. Like 1 would be great. I mean, that's more than enough for 1 guy to focus on. But 2, 3, that's a talented guy. 4, 5, 6. I mean,
That's a party, I guess.
That's a
exactly.
party.
You just look at him, just stop
What
in.
do I
Like,
do?
I'm already fucking tired just from looking at that. I don't know what to do.
Can you just do that to yourself?
Where do
God,
I
I'm gonna
start?
come here. God. How do I do this?
She's like, titty fuck me, press them together. Like, how?
So how many orifices do
Which
you have?
one do I go for? There's like 13.
Well, you could probably get that in Star Wars too. I'm sure somewhere in the galaxy, you know.
Oh God,
I
yeah.
bet.
It's pretty much guaranteed in Star Wars. Well,
Yeah.
Heavy Metal sometimes kind of feels like Star Wars if it was rated R.
Yeah.
Gross.
And then with like different stories from around the universe. Well, that's pretty much fucking Star Wars too.
Yeah.
You got the Conan planet. You got whatever, like aliens, the Snort Coat planet. Yeah.
Yeah, you got
I'm just going off the movie. I've never read the comics, but I'm going off the movie.
yeah. Well, the movie one, I think pretty much most of those stories are all based off like pretty much the comic ones.
Was Bakshi at all involved? Going back to Bakshi just for a second. Was he involved with that movie at all?
No, he wasn't.
Did
It
he do a
sounds so
segment?
weird because it seems like he so would have done a segment in that, but he didn't.
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe he just sent it home waiting for the call. Like they're gonna call me.
I know it.
I made that movie Fire and Ice. They're still gonna call me.
Never
Even
seen
though I'm not
Fire
too
and
sure
Ice.
Fire and Ice came afterwards.
It probably came afterwards. Is like they didn't call me. Fuck these guys. You know.
Yeah, I want to say the movie was like
I
84,
know.
so maybe it was a couple years afterwards. But still, that's another good movie too.
No, movie 84 is badass.
Which one?
84, right?
I think in Fire and Ice, that one where it's animated. It's kind of like Conan if it was animated, sort of kind of.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah, that's a sweet movie. It's got all like rotoscoped into it and whatnot.
So I got a quick question. Sam, did you see The Hobbit with him?
No, I'm gonna go see it tonight at 10:45. I got stuck at the meat grind.
The meat
Sucked.
grind?
Work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about the Hobbit.
That was just kind of a letdown.
Was it?
It's
No spoilers.
It's not a letdown. It's really good. It's really good, but it's. I'll just tell. This is simple how it is. It just feels like it's the extended ending of 2 that they just
Yes,
chopped
that's
off.
all it is.
Oh.
But that's not a bad thing though. I mean, you get tons of action in it. You get
Yeah.
fucking orcs versus elves versus dwarves versus fucking birds and bears and shit. You get all kinds of stuff going on it.
Don't forget the birds.
The birds literally drop a huge grizzly bear off,
Yeah.
and it fucking like takes out
Yeah.
all these
It's
orcs.
Oh my God.
Fair. It was
That
ridiculous.
sounds
No,
like a
that
Thin
makes
Lizzy
me
music
right
video, you know?
Honestly, how long was it? Just
2.5 hours. Like
It was
two-
it
2:15.
was a little bit shorter than that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
kind of
shorter than
depressing.
all the other Lord of the Rings. I'll just
Yeah.
say that.
It's kind of like, well, we need to make a third one. Let's just throw all this crap together and call it
You
a
know
movie.
Yeah. So was Smog impressive on the third one?
It was
For
really
him,
awesome
his, like-
for this.
10 to 15 minute
Yeah.
glory ride.
Yeah, it broke my heart a little bit.
It's not bad. It
Yeah.
feels like that could have just been like you could almost just plug the smog part like on the second
Oh,
one.
definitely.
It's one of those ones you'll have
Like a
none,
movie.
you won't have any of these complaints once you own all 3 of them on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But like when you
come
just
on.
kind of look at it, you're like that could have just been right there at the very end of number
But
2.
why?
Yeah.
And then
But
you
why?
could almost end at number 2 if like the orcs are coming.
That's true.
That's almost how number 2 could have went.
What
Oh yeah.
I did think that number 3 was actually going to start, because I remember like watching, I was sitting there and I was like, I just kind of started thinking, I'm like, man, it's okay. It's been about an hour and a half or something like that, and it's practically almost at like the finale. I'm like, are they going to have some other like weird like sort of like extra story thrown in at the end? And then they never did. But I was kind of worried, because there's sort of all those like other like miscellaneous stories of like Lord of the Rings era stuff, and I thought maybe they're going to start plugging in some weird stuff like that.
I heard some of those.
I do feel in about 10 years they're gonna probably make another like either sort of like solo movies where this is just a one-shot Lord of the Rings tale of this time period, sort of like the Boba Fett movie, something like that. I can see them doing something like that in the future.
I can see them, like, I heard what they did with this. There's the one, I always mispronounce the name of it, but there's the Middle Earth book, which is called the Slytherin or Slamordin or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, the other book that I can always forget what it is.
Exactly.
That's kind of like the Middle Earth Bible, and there's a lot of stories within that. So I imagine that maybe I heard they took some of that and dropped it into this. And then other things, like you said, I don't even see them waiting 10 years. I actually see them going kind of like, all right, well, Disney is doing all the Star Wars stuff, and on top of that, they got also all their Marvel stuff. I could really see Warner Brothers going, all right, well, we already got our Marvel equivalent with all the DC stuff. What's our Star Wars? And I see them kind
Lord of the Rings.
And I see them kind of just, Harry Potter eventually, again, maybe. But like Lord of the Rings, though, I just see them coming out with more like spin-offs and whatnot. Like, oh, here's a Gimli solo movie, maybe, or young Gimli, or here's a Legolas solo movie. Or
here's the Aragorn, like how he became who he was kind of movie. Because the movie does have this little thing where they like tell Legolas, they're like, yo, you got to go find this guy named Strider. But I'm not going to tell you his fucking name. You'll figure that out. It's better if you do. He hangs out this glory hole, in this pub.
It's called the Drunken Cock.
It's got a rooster on there. You'll see it when you get there. There's just a rooster, drinking a beer, fighting somebody.
Well, isn't there a whole bunch of books that bear off with different stories of Lord of the Rings?
Not by Tolkien.
I mean, well, of course, not by Tolkien, but in the universe itself, right?
I don't know. I got this like book that's kind of like an encyclopedia of Lord of the Rings stuff that like I got for my birthday 15 years ago or something like that. And it's got all this like extra stuff in there that's that I'm like, I don't know where that came from. So stories do appear somewhere along the line, but so there's tons of material you could really make 10 more Lord of the Rings movies and you would never be bored of them.
It could just be the Jurassic Park 3, like here's a movie of all the stuff we didn't use from the other movies that were in the books and dropped it into this one.
Except for the thing about that though is I think those Lord of the Rings movies got at least 95% of the stuff in the books. I don't think they really left anything out, especially if you watch the extended cuts.
They were pretty accurate because when I was younger, I read the books. Then right as I finished the books, I bought all 3 movies, and there were like minor details that were off, but that was about it. They were pretty spot on.
Huh.
Yeah, and especially because the one thing I just remember is once I finally sat down and watched all 3 of like at least the Lord of the Rings ones, the extended cuts.
Oh yeah.
That's where it added in a lot of those like extra scenes.
Exactly, like another 2 hours on each movie.
And then like
so, I guess this one's the one that took a lot of liberties then, this trilogy right here.
Well, just kind of add stuff, and I thought it was good stuff that they added. Because I remember I was one of those people at first who was like, why don't they just do The Hobbit as one movie? The book is fucking 328 pages long or something like that.
How did you space this out?
I mean, like, because I always have, like, this is my estimate on books. Is for every 100 pages, that's equivalent about an hour of a movie.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Because you think about, like, did you ever read Jurassic Park at all?
Yeah.
Okay, you know how that book's about 400-something pages?
Yeah.
And, if you probably made Jurassic Park 1 into a 4-hour-long movie, you could fit all the extra scenes that are in there. So that makes that's kind of like where that logic comes from. So really, I was like, well, that's a 3-hour-long movie, give or take, if you estimate, The Hobbit turning into a movie. I'm like, well, the first one's pretty much 3 hours if you take the extended cut of it almost. And then, like, but, by the time I watched like the second one, I was like, you know what? I like how they've kind of extended and all the little things they've added and whatnot.
Mm.
And
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and even though the third one's pretty much just like a sweet kind of like big final act, that's not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. Do they just open up with just kind of like the dragons wrecking shit, or do they actually have a little bit of kind of like an easy opening of kind of like like Bilbo?
Dragon
just literally opens up like
wrecking a house,
just
laying down the long hard dick of the law, just burning shit up.
Yeah, just killing people left and right.
Shit. Yeah.
I just wish they were playing just like breaking the law. It's like,
It'd been perfect. It'd been perfect.
Just wrecking shit. Like Peter Jackson's like, that's for me. That's for me. I just wanted this one little bit right there. So
Nice guys.
But no, overall, I think it was damn good.
mhm.
Yeah.
But,
I'll talk shit, but it was. I liked it.
I don't know yet. I will find out.
Sam, I think you'll really like it. Same with Brian. I think you'll enjoy it too.
Yeah.
I'll probably see it tonight. I sent Wes a text saying, "Do you want to go watch some hairy midgets and a wizard beat up a dragon?" So
It sounds like the intro to a really weird porn.
I just realized that
I'm
after I sent that to
I'm
him.
slightly
Real
aroused.
He hasn't got back to me yet, so we'll
It's like,
see.
God, what is this?
He's just like, okay, I know Ryan wanted me to hang out a little bit more with him, but God, I'm not going to one of those things.
Oh, God.
Where is it? Oh, the Castro Theater. Oh, shit. Maybe I should have said.
Oh, dude, Jesus.
Maybe I should have just said like AMC. Fuck. Okay. Beyond
But,
that, though. Go ahead.
In my time period of catching up on kind of all these movies in 2014, because I'm thinking about, okay, we always get our famous, I guess everybody gets their sort of famous. If you do a podcast, pretty much everybody has that, like, what's that podcast you do in January at the beginning of the year? Oh, we just talk about, all the movies we liked from 2014. So I'm at this point now in December, it's like, I got to catch up on all the movies I kind of missed, either if they didn't come to, like, mainstream theaters, or if I just somehow, some way didn't see them, and start building my list.
Mm-hmm.
And out of these movies I checked out, this is the one I remember you telling me, because you got it there at the little theaters, but they didn't come out down here. But I finally saw that movie, Snowpiercer.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Holy crap, was that just...
Yeah.
That movie literally skyrocketed to top 5.
I fucking love that
You take
movie.
I got Stan.
You're getting old, Sam.
Yep.
You want to... Do we need to find you a better place to
Yeah,
sit?
you can sit on
He literally was like...
sit where I was.
All right. There.
Dude.
That's perfect right there.
Are you comfortable?
I'm fine.
Okay, there we go. Well, you got the extent. You can go anywhere you want, pretty much.
Exactly.
Okay, well, whatever. Snowpiercer. So that I finally just checked that out. And man, was that just like the perfect movie. I kid you not. That's in my top 3 already.
That's like possibly my number 1. Go ahead, Sam. Sorry.
Yeah, I will say that. It's almost possibly my number 1. I've only seen it once, though. So I always feel like I have to get that second try in there. But, totally a movie I want to go out and buy.
What is Snowpiercer? What is the plot, the story?
Pretty much what it is in the future, once global warming kind of like fucks us all over, some company makes this sort of a cold bomb or something like that. It's supposed to just like, okay, it's just going to calm down global warming. But instead, it freezes the entire Earth.
Versus
And then there's this dude who's like, I really love fucking trains. So I built this train that goes all the way around the entire Earth, and it takes an entire year to take this whole trip.
I know what
And it's self-sustaining and whatnot, blah, 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 blah. It's got, aquariums in it and plants and food and all sorts of services. But they've built it in a style that it's kind of like there's the rich people and the poor people, and everybody has their certain, like, jobs that keep this train going. And then it's got fucking Captain America in it, Chris Evans. So it's pretty much a story of Captain America going from being really poor to rising to the top and taking down the rich.
I'll have to see this.
pretty bonkers.
Oh my god, I kid you not, it's so fucking fun.
It's
right.
I rented it off Netflix.
It's pretty heavy-handed too, because like if you like basically all the people in the back, they're not like, oh, we just do the jobs and wants to do. They're basically the slaves of the rich to an extent. Like they're like every so often, just the rich come back there, like, all right, we're taking a kid. Why are you taking my kid? Fuck you. That's why. Walking out with the kid. And there's a part where like somebody does that. So, like some Irish guy, like, you're not taking me, boy. You're not taking me, boy. He like chucks a shoe and like hits the head of like this. There's like this big lady. She's pretty, but she's kind of a bigger lady. Hits her in the head, kind of like she's bleeding a little bit, and you think she's gonna turn around and like just full on like attack this guy. She's like, no, it's fine. He'll get what's coming to him. She like, licks the blood away, just walks off. Like, oh, don't fuck with this bitch. And then what ends up happening is the guards go over. And Tilda Swinton plays this evil kind of like very grindy kind of like just this bitch, unlikable bitch altogether. And she's given this like whole hate speech, just saying, you're beneath us. This is where you belong. Fuck you. And while she's saying that, they stick the guy who threw the shoe at her, his arm out the train. His arm is like frozen solid. They bring it in like, okay, just so you remember, just to remind you, this is what happens when you fuck up. They bring a sledgehammer down.
Well, they do this too, and they go like, and then before they even do that, they're like, okay, at this altitude, it's gonna take 7 minutes. They like, and you're just like, what the fuck, 7 minutes? And he's putting his hand out there, and it's just literally out in the blizzard, just fucking freezing and shit. And then, yeah, as you said, they pulls it back in finally, and it's just a solid ice block of an arm.
They break it with a sledgehammer. she continues her speech, and this guy's like all mortified, like looking at this icy stub. And then like some guy comes with like a dustpan and show, like, doot, 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 doot. Like it's not a big fucking deal. It's a very intense movie, but it's awesome though.
It's intense, but it's like action packed. It's got a great story.
It's Korean too. You wouldn't guess it from looking at it.
Was that what it was? Because I was looking, because the credits were like half and half. It was like you would see like a couple Asian names, then you'd see a couple like American or English names. So I wasn't too sure if it was like a mixed production.
Who made the original Old Boy? Yeah.
Oh, is that who made it? Did yours have any special features on it? Because the Blu-ray one just had like a commentary, and that was it. And it wasn't even a comment. It was a commentary with like something weird. It was like, the Critics Fans Club do a commentary on this movie. I'm like, you mean nobody that made the movies on there? It's like, why the fuck do I want to listen to that?
I have special features. I have not got around to watching them yet. I watched the movie like 3 times though, because I love that movie. That movie's awesome.
I know, that's one of those ones I think I get to go out and buy that on Blu-ray somewhat. It's such a good movie.
Plus, there's this.
It's totally a movie where you pass it to somebody and go like, watch this. Don't. I didn't even know what the movie was about. All I knew is I'm like, Dunnigan said this movie was good. And I put it in. I didn't even know it was about a fucking train for like I had no idea what the movie was.
I texted you a picture.
I didn't even know fucking Captain America was in. I think you probably told me that at the time, but I forgot it.
I did. I texted you a picture of the poster. I just said Captain America with an axe.
Yeah, that's all I knew. Is like, so I was just like, I had no idea what I was going into, and that almost sometimes makes a movie better. I really like watching movies.
Yeah.
With the only thing I know is I look at the cover. Throughout my life, people have always given me movies. I remember my aunt. She gave me this whole box of VHSs, 15 years ago or something like that. Maybe not that long, but like 12 years ago. So I had about like another like 100 VHSs added to my collection. And I would just literally just look at the cover and go, pop that one in, not knowing anything about what the movie was. And then sometimes you get like these awesome movies and just the idea that you don't know what's coming up. Because you read the back, then you mostly know what the movie's about. You're like, oh, okay, I already know how this is going.
Fuck.
So by doing that, and that's how Snowpiercer was too, I just literally put it in. I was like, I don't know what this movie fucking is. I just know Ryan said it was cool.
Like you said, Captain America
here's
with an axe. I mean,
that sounds
it's gonna be
badass.
great.
And it's like
it's
a shield that too. It's like it's got all sorts of cool things. I think one of the best parts about the movie too is they keep going up this train, so you never know what you're going to see next. You're just kind of like, I wonder what's going to be in this next car. And on one of them, as I said, you see an aquarium in one, and it's fish swimming around everywhere. Another one's got all kinds of plants in there. And these poor people are seeing things they've never seen before. They're like, I haven't fucking seen an orange in 18 years, or I haven't seen an egg in that long. Then they get to one, too, where there's all these kids, like, in a classroom learning, and they're all kind of almost like, like Nazi children. They all they know is this train, and, the train's their leader, and, the guy that created the train and whatnot, he's master and in control. And so on, it just keeps going on and on and on. And one of the cool parts, too, is they find the Korean guy who's a kind of a famous Korean actor. I was just thinking from The Good, Bad, and the Weird.
Yeah.
And
I saw the devil.
Yeah, and I saw the devil. He's in that one, too. And at first, they're like, oh, we need this guy. He knows how to get through the doors. And he's like, he's a drug actor, so all you got to do is give him fucking, like, these Kronos drugs, which is just, like, this little square that people sniff and get high off of. And so he just keeps collecting them. So every door he unlocks, they have to give another or Captain America gives him another piece of drugs. It just sounds better when you say Captain America. That's all I have to say.
Yes.
It just makes the movie sound really interesting.
But there's also this other part. What happens is his daughter, they imply that she's kind of psychic or whatever. And they get to this one door, and she backs away like, no. Like, and then the door opens up.
It's like, too late.
And you see there are all these guards there with like ski masks, with chains and saws and axes. And they got to fight their way through that shit. And at some point, like, they all step back and start laughing, and they pull down like their these night vision goggles. Like, what is it? Like, the guy says something in Korean because he can't speak English, but the girl can. And he's like,
which is always weird.
He says, "What do you say?" He says, "What do you say?" He says, "You guys are fucked." Why? Like, a tunnel. Then he says something else. A long fucking tunnel. And then all of a sudden, like, lights go out and they have to fight these guys in the dark, basically. And someone has to pull out a match and, like, blind them just for a second and then, like, get the upper hand again. So.
Well, the cool thing happens, too, is, like, Captain America's prepared for this. And he's got, like, this torch runner guys. And they're, like, running along like they're fucking in the Olympics. And they're passing this torch to the next guy. And then all of a sudden, they've got all these torches lit. And they come running into all the guys with the night vision on with just, like, a ton of torches. And they're blinding them and everything. And then they just get the upper hand and kill them all. And whatnot. But it's just, oh my god, just totally badass. I kid you not. Such a fucking good movie.
One of the things is a lot of times there's a lot of foreshadowing in the movie. And it's a lot of times it seems kind of like, oh, that's fucking obvious. Because a lot of times they'll just have this one little moment in a movie that, like, most people, maybe if you don't pay attention to a lot of movies, it would probably just go over your head. Like, why else would they mention that? That's coming back some way. This movie, there's a bunch of those moments, but they slide them in there to a point where you don't really even think about it, and it's not really, you don't really see it coming back. When they all come back, they all snap in just perfectly, and they have a huge effect on the rest of the movie. So it's kind of little things like that. Like at some point, someone got matches, and he just tosses the matches to somebody else, and that person later comes running in with. So it all just things like that just snap perfectly together, and it's all around perfect movie. I can't find anything to complain about.
And they even trick you too, like in some parts, because there's half the people have like no limbs and whatnot like that too. So you just assume that after you see that guy get his arm frozen, it's like, oh, that must have just what happened to all these guys. It's like that old man who's only got like one arm left, and he's got like 2 fake legs, and he's got like a cane on his left arm or right arm. It's like he must have just
hanger for a hand.
He probably just messed up a lot. He's just had like every limb put out there. Next, they're gonna put his dick out there for all we know.
Then you find out
but then later on, you learn that it was a completely different. It's a turnaround. I'm not even gonna tell you, but it's that's not what it was. It's something else. So they got all this sweet stuff going on, and plus, it's like 2 of my favorite things in movies. A lot of times, I love whenever movies just take place in all snow. I don't know what it is about snow. I love when video games take place in all snow. I love movies that are in snow. Something about snow is always really cool to me. And then 2, trains. I always think that's some of the coolest parts on movies. Trains, man.
Siege.
Like fucking GoldenEye. That's one of my favorite scenes is when they're on the train. And even like that Spy Who Loved Me when they're on the train. He's got fucking Battle Jaws. That even happens in From Russia with Love. So this movie's trains and snow the whole way through. And then fucking
Captain
action.
America. Starring Captain America.
Yeah, Captain America. The fucking, this could have been called The Winter Soldier. All around, just a totally badass movie.
I love this movie more than Winter Soldier, and anybody listening to this podcast know I love the fuck out of Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I like it more than Winter Soldier. It is that damn good. I want to go out and get it just to get the special features if it has it. I'll be kind of bummed if it was like the copy that I got.
Mine has it. I just haven't watched them yet.
The one I had was a Blu-ray one, but it didn't have like the thing where it was like a rental copy or something. I hate when they do that, and you're like, "What the fuck?" That's the whole main reason I pay that extra $2 on, Netflix is to get that Blu-ray so I can get the special features and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And then they do that thing where they send you the goddamn rental copy, but it's only certain companies have that.
Yeah.
But as I said, it was like the only special features on there was a fucking commentary by like some critic. It wasn't by anybody. It was like, can I at least get a commentary by like Chris Evans, or like at least can I get the Korean guy? I don't care if it's in Korean the whole time. At least something. Just
translate it.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell is this?
Hobbits aside, did you guys see any new movies? Kieran and Sam?
I don't have my phone.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of the last new movie I saw. I rented a movie that I really wanted to see, and I was a little disappointed. It was the new Ninja Turtle movie.
You didn't like that one?
I was a little disappointed by that. I didn't hate it, but I felt incredibly lukewarm about it. Like I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad. I wasn't super excited. I was like, okay.
Johnny Knoxville. It caught me off guard. That I was sitting there and I was like, this voice sounds so familiar, and then I was like, oh my god, it's Johnny Knoxville, and all I could imagine was his character just getting kicked in the balls the entire movie, and I couldn't take anything seriously. And Megan Fox, I was just like, you're so dumb.
Yeah, right.
What are you doing?
Well, it's just like Megan Fox only does CG movies these days.
I cannot believe that Megan Fox had like had a degree in journalism. I'd not really believed that for the movie.
What?
Well,
in the movie.
I was like, hold on.
Not
oh yeah, yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Well, you know what? I actually like the new Ninja Turtles movie, and I actually thought, even though I'm not even a big, I don't like Megan Fox, but I thought she, at least as far as her ability, she put 110% into that.
Whoa! April was supposed to be a redhead. All right.
Well, and I will say, it's like
I hate when they do that shit.
Yeah. The upside though is like this. I'm gonna just point out the positives at least, because I went in there knowing she was already it. At least like when she was in the sun, you could see that her hair had a tint of red to it. Now that doesn't. That's not. I really wish there was just a full on like ginger in there, fucking full Irish. That's what I want. I want like that as can be, but. At least they made an effort to try. She was wearing the yellow jacket, so it was close to the jumpsuit.
Yeah.
What's weird though is like with Man of Steel, Lois Lane was a ginger. And
yeah.
I was just like, no, she's a raven.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you guys doing?
Exactly.
Switch those two, and you might be a little closer.
Sadly enough, you're right.
Yeah, Megan Fox would still kind of suck as Lois Lane, but
at least she had the look.
Yeah,
exactly.
She looked the part, but
yeah.
What I'm getting with it though is just like it didn't bring out the childhood in me. Like you guys grew up with Ninja Turtles, the cartoon series, and all that. Even the old movies, the original Ninja Turtle movie,
Some of my
that
favorites.
Oh,
is one of my ultimate favorite movies, and that brought the childhood in me. I was just like, I was looking for it.
I'll say this about the. Go ahead.
Oh, but it is overall a good movie. I did like it. It had a good plot, a good story. It just
See, that's what I thought. I guess maybe because like going into it, like I wanted to hope that it was really good.
Yeah.
You know, and then Dunnigan talked to me about it. He said it was okay, and then a couple other people talked to me, and then they told me it was really good, and I got kind of like sort of mixed reviews, but nobody said it was bad. Nobody said it was bad, so I kind of went into it going like, at least it's going to be interesting. I'm going to go into it going, this is not my generation. I got to keep that in mind. This is made for kids that are around 10 years old, in 2014.
Our generation is way better though.
So going into it and just kind of accepting it for what it was, I was like, overall, I think it was pretty good. Is it the best Ninja Turtles movie? No, I don't think so, but I did enjoy it.
I'll say it was definitely better than number 3 of the Ninja Turtles.
No, Turtles in Time.
No, that's not. Well, yeah, it is true. I guess they are in time,
but
not like Turtles in Time, the video game. Which is amazing.
Nothing like that.
Well,
if they made a Turtles in Time movie, that'd be fucking badass.
It would.
Just jumping from like different time throughout the whole movie.
Like
I'd
just
see
like.
that.
Oh, that'd be.
Yeah, I'd see that.
Oh yeah.
This one though, the thing about it was, I know it's Ninja Turtles, and it's not like it doesn't really probably have as complex of a history as say something like X-Men or Batman or something like that. I mean, it's been around for like I guess 30 years by this point, but I guess my thing with it is, even though like I wasn't expecting it to be like the greatest comic book movie ever made or anything like that, and I understand that it was there. I understand it was probably gonna be a little camp or whatever. I think most superhero movies this day and age kind of got to be more than just the standard superhero format, and most of the ones that are really good this day and age that we like don't go by the standard format. There's something kind of like different about them, like
a Guardians of the Galaxy that just gets to the point in 5 minutes.
Yeah, like Guardians of the Galaxy, like Batman, for instance. They turned Batman into being just another superhero movie. They turned it into a detective story. Whether you like it or not, Iron Man, they basically turned those into like kind of like a action comedy buddy cop kind of movie, at least by the third one. But sort of buddy cop, because they had that vibe because Shane Black directed it. But and then like Superman, rather than being another superhero movie, which it was still, it was more of like the world's ending, grand scale sci-fi movie, rather than just like I got to learn how to use my powers just right montage. Which that's enjoyable, but we've seen that so many times. And I guess Turtles kind of felt that way to me, just your standard superhero format, which it's not god-awful, but it's just I've seen it a lot. But I will say the action, which is a big seller, was pretty good. And I like their
the action.
I like their interpretation of Shredder. And like I'm not expecting Gone with the Wind or something. I just think that like they need to like I just think for being what it is by this point, they probably could have done more with their presentation of it instead of being the whole build-up of kind of like, who are these turtles? What are they? We got to take 15 minutes before we actually see them clearly, and then have them like be linked to April's past, and of course the evil billionaire is the one pulling the strings, and he's Shredder or whatever, So.
Well, I think the sequel's gonna be awesome.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's got Bebop and Rocksteady.
They're gonna be in it. Okay, well here's the thing about it. It's not like it's so bad, put a bullet in its head. I mean, at least maybe the sequel, because maybe they'll go off and do something different by this point. And the sequel, who knows? Maybe that's where there'll be, since we already know the characters, we could just jump in with the action rather than trying to build it up again. Kind of like the Spider-Man thing.
Yeah. Well, speaking of another movie that when catching up on my movies of 2014, here's another one that didn't come out to like every theater. The Wish I Was Here, the new Zach Braff movie.
Oh, how was that?
Oh, it was really. I will say this, probably just as good as Garden State. Did you guys ever see Garden State?
I not part of it.
I'm trying to think of the movie.
It.
Like, that was one of those ones, like, I really liked that Garden State, because it was sort of...
Liv Tyler, right?
No, it has Natalie Portman's in it.
Oh, damn, okay, then no.
But it's kind of one of those movies where it's like, it's a mix of, it's a drama, it's a romance, but then it's got comedy strung out throughout it, but it's not, like, overload so much, but every single time there is comedy, it's really good.
Well, this was originally supposed to be a sequel to Garden State, but then he backed out at the last minute and changed the characters' names.
I'll tell you this, you could almost say it was equal, though. It has that same vibe. Like, it feels like it's the same character, just it's him 10 years later, 15 years later, whatever.
Which that freaks me out knowing that movie was that long ago.
Well, yeah, I think Garden State's 2004.
Yeah. We were still in high school. Shit.
That made me feel old. I was a freshman.
Oh, don't fucking tell me that.
But no, The Wish I Was Here was like, it's pretty much... he's an actor. He hasn't really had that many gigs. He's got these 2 kids, and then his dad's like got cancer. So it's got this mix of like it's sort of sad, sort of funny, and apparently his dad's the one who was paying for the school, but now he's got this cancer. He can't pay for the kids' school anymore, so now they got to be pulled out of Jew school or whatever you call it, Jewish school,
Hebrew school.
Hebrew school.
Yeah.
And so now they can't do that now. So Zach Braff, since he doesn't really work, he just kind of acts and hasn't really had an acting job forever. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to take you kids out and we're just going to do fun shit, and that's going to be your education.
Huh. That sounds like it could be a good movie.
So it's got like this alternate like kind of education thing going on. But no, it's just got a lot of like kind of it's a feel good movie. That if you had to break it down, that's really what it is. But it's got some really good funny stuff in it. The characters are good. It's got the sad moments. I mean, you know the whole time the dad's going to pass away. You just know that part's coming. So you kind of grow attached to some of these characters. And then he's got his wife in it who's pretty much just, doing all the work. And she's kind of like, oh, okay, well, you're just going out there having all this fun. And I got to work this job with this guy who's like pervert and whatnot. He's always talking about his dick to me, like at work.
Literally that?
Yeah, literally, the guy's just like, he's like just talking about he's not really, like, she sues him for like sexual harassment at the end of the movie, but it's not like he was like touching or anything. He was just like, talking as his dick had a voice.
Well, don't all guys do that, just in a small way?
Yeah, maybe just not the workplaces often, but...
I don't think I've ever vocalized my cock.
You just vocalize your cock right there?
In the third person.
Yes.
We're talking about the first person, isn't that what we're talking about?
Oh, no, I totally
Dr.
third
Stiffy is
person.
hungry right now.
I was just like-
What?
And then, like, along the whole way, too, he's got this part where it's him and he's in, like, this spacesuit. And it's him, he's just, like, running along. And it just kind of cuts back to this every once in a while in the movie. And he's got this little robot thing following him the whole time. And it's sort of this kind of saying, like, this is sort of like his dream is, finding your dream, being what you want to be and whatnot. He's talking about, like, he was like, when me and my brother were kids, we just kind of would, pretend we were these astronauts on this planet and stuff. And even though that dream might be a little too far away, the whole point is I want to capture it. I need to be who I want to be and whatnot. So, these feel good things, but I kid you not, I'd say just as good as Garden State.
I want an astronaut
give or take.
too.
I know, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
I actually saw... Go ahead, Sam.
Just walk your dog downtown with the astronaut too.
Fuck out. Oh my god!
It's what I always wanted. Yeah.
You just give the wave around.
Oh, it's all good.
Sorry. Off subject.
Actually, go. You got one more movie to say?
Well, yeah, I saw this one actually like a few days ago. Did you guys hear anything? It's not Harvey Birdman, the Birdman you think about. But did you guys by chance see or hear about the Michael Keaton movie Birdman?
No.
All right.
No,
I heard of it.
I think I heard the title, but nothing
All
else.
right. It's not an independent movie. There's too many big people in it, but it's kind of very artsy, basically, and it's almost kind of like it seemed like a very personal movie to Michael Keaton. I don't think he wrote or directed it, I know he didn't direct it. I don't think he wrote it, but he was definitely. It's kind of a satire on him. It's like a dark comedy that's actually a little bit that's psychological and at the same time possibly fantasy. I think it actually is fantasy because there are these moments. It's actually, it's literally kind of like a dark comedy version of Black Swan. I can't think of a better way to explain it other than that.
The Black Swan's already like a dark comedy.
That's super
Yeah.
dark.
Well, here's the thing about this
Black
movie
Swan.
right here. It's like
Lesbos.
he basically plays like a
We're gonna go rent now.
he's like an ex actor. Well, he's an actor still. He used to play like the superhero called Birdman, Michael Keaton, and he's kind of a wash up. He hasn't had any.
No relation to actual Birdman.
No, there's a different Birdman in the movie. And every so often,
I wonder. I'm like, did they think that through when they made that?
I don't know. Well,
character?
Birdman's probably. I mean, there's Hawkman, but Birdman's just a Hanna-Barbera character that not many people care that much for. You know what I mean? I think the only reason why we really.
I guess, but the character still exists. I guess is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
no, he's
And there's nothing wrong with Birdman. Like he's along the same lines as Space Ghost. It's just not nearly as cool as Space Ghost.
He's basically it's a different Birdman entirely. And there are times where he'll even like imagine Birdman or like the Birdman. It sounds like Christian Bale doing his Batman voice. He'll talk to him, and it'll be like it opens up. Michael Keaton's like floating in his room. He's like cross-legged, floating in his room, and it says the voice is like, "How did we end up in a dump like this? We used to be something. We used to da 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 da." Goes on like this really badass speech, like, "This place smells like balls," So, and then there'll be moments where he's kind of like by himself, and the voice would be talking to him saying, "You're nothing without me. I'm what made you." He's like, "Shut the fuck up!" And all of a sudden, like he'll use his mind and throw something across the room, and you throw.
This almost could be a Batman movie where you have the 1980 Batman talking to Michael Keaton like, "I made you."
That's kind of the idea. And there's literally a part where he's walking down the street and he's kind of like the voice is talking to him, and because what happens, I forgot to mention. So he's he's like a washed up actor who's doing a Broadway play of this book he loves, and the thing is falling apart. It's only a matter of like days before it starts. Emma Stone is his like daughter, who's his assistant, who just got out of rehab. Hulk. He was not Mark Ruffalo, but the Hulk in Incredible Hulk.
Edward Norton.
Fight Club. Edward Norton. He plays this he plays this Broadway actor who's really good at acting, but he's not so good at like real shit. And he's just kind of like, if he's on stage drinking, he needs to be drinking on stage. Like there's a part where he switches out like his water bottle it was like vodka bottle for like water in the middle of a scene while the audience is there. He's just like, "Did you place my fucking like vodka with water?" He says, "Not here, man." He just gets up in the middle of the scene, starts yelling at him about it right in front of the whole audience. In the movie, it's impossible because of the shots to do, but it's made to look like kind of one long continuous shot. Like most of the shots are one single like 10-minute shot that will follow somebody around. The whole thing's made to look like one long shot.
It's kind of neat.
Sounds like a sweet movie.
Yeah.
And so what happens is everybody has their own story going on, but he has this mental story going on. There's a part where he imagines like Birdman saying like, "Let's give them what they want. Let's give them Birdman 4." And then all of a sudden like a big CG robot bird comes down, is attacking a city, and then he sees Birdman flying out attacking the bird and all that. So it's like a dark comedy, but it's actually it's good. I'd say it's.
Did that just come out?
It came out probably like 2 months ago, but I saw it just like last week.
Huh. Because I was saying, like, I remember hearing stuff about it, but it's something kind of like maybe just sometimes those movies you look at, you're like, "Oh, that looks kind of interesting." Like, not like I feel like I got to go see it this second, but that sounds cooler when you explain it now.
Yeah, because you don't know because like I said, he'll like move shit around with his mind. You don't know if it's really him or if he's going crazy. But by the end of the movie, I think it's actually happening, given something they imply.
Sweet.
Now I gotta see this.
Yeah, we gotta check this out.
Again?
It's called just Birdman.
I mean, it's primarily a drama about a guy, a dark comedy about a guy just kind of losing his shit right before this play starts. But it's definitely worth seeing, I think.
Well, gonna have to cut you off right here. It looks like dinner's just about ready for us. We got a little barbecue going, so.
Cool. I got top ramen over
like,
here.
Yeah, you got
cheesy poops in the background.
I gotta explain that bullshit. I gotta explain this bullshit. 1 second.
I saw this moment I got you. I'm just curious.
Let me explain these. I gotta explain
Hopefully
these
you didn't
right
eat
here,
those
okay?
all in one sitting beforehand.
No.
Because that thing's like a fucking huge-ass jar, and there's only like maybe a fifth left of it.
I could probably do it.
Here's what happened. Here's how these got here. I would never spend money on these.
Of course you would, Sam.
the cheesy poops.
If we were in Star Trek time, Sam, I would send this to you because I wouldn't
Fucking
have got this.
swore
What happened
them.
a little while ago? What happened a little while ago was our employee Christmas party. This is not what I got, but someone else got this, and they're just like, "I don't."
Ryan,
fucking want
you
these.
look like
Ryan,
you eat these kind of
take them.
things.
You clearly have no self-respect. Take that. He didn't say that, but I'm believing that's what happened. So I was like,
That guy's
okay,
a dick.
cool. So then I'm just kind of like, okay, I got a big thing of cheesy poofs, whatever. I was pretty hammered by this point. "Oh, I got cheesy poofs, guys." And, literally, I was kind of going around
Like
the party.
fucking the cheesy poops like in front of everyone.
No, that was not really my first thing that came to mind. Like, I got a bucket of cheesy poofs. What can I do with these?
Did you
That
start
is-
calling the cat dildos?
2 more beers in, you probably would have been on them, just fucking them in front of everybody.
Everyone, look.
Like, you wish you got cheesy poops. You wish you did.
It's fucked up, right?
Worst part is, watch this. I'm all done with it now. Now I'm gonna eat them. Oh, dude.
How hot does that sound? How hot does that sound right there? All right, I gotta finish. All right, now we're not ending the podcast right here. You guys gotta go have dinner, but I will finish this when you get back, okay? We're back. All right, now I gotta explain where the fuck that thing came from. So, I don't remember where I left off. But basically, what ended up happening was we had this whole gift exchange thing for Christmas. We got Easy Poofs. It was they didn't say this, but they said it with their eyes, like, Ryan, you clearly have no self-respect. Here you go. So, and I was totally hammered at that point. So like, sure, fuck it, I'll take it, you know. And that's where Spencer went into his little like story. That's where I kind of almost forgot. I had to think back what really happened real quick. What? Yeah, the story apparently filling it with eggs, filling the bathtub up, doing a Scrooge McDuck thing. I don't fucking know. Anyway,
very cheesy.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Going back to the awkward. Going back to the thing.
Exactly.
It's gonna get weirder if I just keep talking. So I'll just go. I'll get to the main point. So at some point, somebody like I'm just kind of like just offering it to people because I don't know. I don't want all these to myself. I'm offering it to people at the party, just kind of like. Which I'd be even more weirder. Just be like, "Hey guys, want to be?
You want my cheesy Poofs? Here, have some of my cheesy balls. Put them in your mouth. Yeah."
And some people literally just kind of grabbing handfuls, and like when they're doing everyone else being kind of drunk and slide at this point, and you could literally tell where I was because there was like a fucking trail of them because people just reach in like, fuck it, why not? Just reach in, pulling out handfuls of it. So literally, there's like some guy at the bar that was getting pissed off. I understand why, and I feel bad about it. But there's other people reaching in and just grabbing the shit.
Just spilling it like, everywhere.
Yeah, like where's the bearded bitch with the Cheetos or whatever. So, you know,
excuse me, sir, they're cheesy Poofs, all right?
There's just this trail of like cheesy Poofs that everybody's like stepped on and is now like part of the carpet,
going all the way down Fisherman's Wharf. Yeah, just because people were just eating out of this thing. Everybody but the guy that grabbed. At one point, somebody literally grabbed a handful of it and shoved it in my fucking face. So yeah, that happened.
Wow, that's an interesting night. He's all like, "Now get on your knees and suck my dick, boy."
Get that taste. You want to get the taste out of? Want to get the taste of cheese Poofs out of your mouth? Yeah, here you go. No, so basically,
just suck some like random homeless guy's cock.
So what ends up happening? No, not that. That doesn't happen. Not yet. No. Anyway,
sure.
It's expensive here, sure? So you never know. Might come to that, you know. But so. So what ends up happening, that happened, but another thing happened. At some point, they were serving, Spencer hates this word, but they're serving Chipotle over at, it's basically Mexican Starbucks when it gets down to it, really, when you think about it. The way they operate, the way
really is.
Hey, it's better than Horchata. What is that drink?
Oh, that's great.
You think that's great?
No.
We see you talking about?
It's a Mexican
rice drink.
Starbucks.
Oh, horchata or
horchata. Yeah, it tastes like throw up to me. I don't know. I just can't.
It tastes like throw up.
It's rice and sugar
so,
and water.
Dude, it's great stuff.
It just depends who makes it.
The
That's
rice
like
milk
a
stuff.
difference.
I don't know.
I hate that shit.
Yeah, that's
yeah, horchata. Thank you.
You guys are so white.
It depends like which one you have.
Like
though. It can go between being kind of nasty to really good.
That's where it's basically filtered rice with like brown sugar and milk, right? That's water, right?
Yeah,
basically.
With cinnamon in it.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
What ends up happening at one point in the party is, at some point, because set the whole thing, and they just had this thing of Chipotle catered there. They were gonna throw a bunch of it out, so I just went over there with this big ass bowl and just taking, that's tomorrow's breakfast, whatever. So just they're gonna throw this shit out. I wasn't taking it all for myself. I was grabbing a whole tray.
You can't waste.
Well,
now.
at some point, I leave it alone for a minute. At some point, there's this one dude I work with, this really small gay dude, really cool dude, but this really small gay dude there, and he grabs it. He's like kind of walking. All right, guys, he's pretty hammered. He called himself like an Uber or Lyft or something. He's heading out. I'm like, oh, dude, that's my Chipotle. I just grab it at this weird, awkward moment. We're just like, no, it's mine. Like, no, dude, it's mine. It's like, I wonder how this had to look to other people looking at it. In this moment, it's not very full story. But to others, so
you drunk dumbasses.
Look at Cheesy Poof and Queer are fighting over Chipotle.
Cheesy Poof's over his face, and just this small gay dude no, it's my Chipotle. Like, dude, it's my Chipotle. No, it's my Chipotle. They just I was coherent enough to realize. I was coherent enough to realize that this probably has to look awkward for everybody else in the bar. I'm just fucking take it. I don't care. I got these right here. Which at the moment, now thinking back about that's kind of sad. But yeah. No, I didn't have to fight him for it. I was just like, just fucking
fight
take
some
it. Because I knew it was one of those
midget over
look kind of
Chipotle.
weird. Grown ass guys right in the middle of a fucking bar. Like, it's my Chipotle. No, it's my Chipotle. It's more Chipotle. Just going back and forth like that. So just fucking take it. He probably would have done that to me. It's like, motherfucker! Just right in the fucking chest.
Pull a knife out, stab him in his hand, like, oh yeah, I'll fuck you.
some
Then you
reason-
just take the big cheesy poop jar thing and bash it over his head.
For some reason, I could see the Kool-Aid guy just busting through a wall right now. Chipotle.
What?
Well, I had some dudes. I had like the guy was basically kind of like whatchamacallit. The way we actually offered it to a homeless guy. Some homeless guy.
Yeah, there we
like,
go.
do you guys have any money? Like, we got some cheesy poop. And he just kind of gave us a dirty look, but you know.
Did your story just like collapse right there?
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
It's
I was
free
just like, oh,
food.
he's got more to this. I know.
You got me all excited for more. I thought you were gonna get a fight with a bum. Throw cheesy poofs at him.
That kind of almost we almost that's the main reason we left the bar, because there's actually like one of the guys who run the bar is like, where's that motherfucker with the cheesy poops? We're like, me and the people, they're kind of like heading out at the same time, like, oh, we gotta go now, guys. You know, there's this trail though. They could have easily followed us. This trail just going down Fisherman's Wharf like fucking Hansel and Gretel or some shit.
Yeah, I thought there'd be a story where like you're being attacked by a hobo guy and you're running down the street and you start throwing it
Yeah,
out and behind you is like, that will stop him.
He just continues to oop.
He didn't take it. He was pissed off. But I was like, you know, I don't know. Yeah, it's free food. I was willing to give him the whole thing, but he didn't even want it. So now I got this thing back here. Been eating a little bit of it, but yeah, that's where that gap came from. So
Scooby-Doo trail.
Lead him to the cheesy booth like witch's lair.
Dude, I swear, some dude on the street just gave me this cheesy poof container, and
Fuck that guy.
yeah, exactly.
Ungrateful dick.
Yeah. You should just leave that there for the whole entire year. Just see what happens.
Well, like a
Anyone
science
notice?
experiment.
Yeah. Just like two missing every time. Alright.
It'd be like one of those things where like, guess how many jawbreakers are in this jar and you could win the whole jar or something weird like that. Guess how many cheesy poofs are in Ryan's cheesy poof box.
I'd say about. It looks like 68.
Just send him like a used thing of cheesy poofs.
If there's 68,
nobody wins
Don't-
that though. Nobody wins. We all lose. Nathan Fillion, not that I'm anywhere to that level. Nathan Fillion, actually from Firefly and all that, signed an ornament
God.
and lit it.
Firefly's badass.
That's going for $300 somewhere on the internet. Firefly's badass, so Slither, so you know whatever. Whatever gives him more money, cool.
Yeah.
I'm all good. That guy's awesome.
Yeah, he plays a good Green Lantern there.
Yeah.
Green Lantern, I think we all kind of wanted, but whatever.
It's okay. Like we got him in the animated one, so that's fine enough.
We did
Mhm.
multiple of those, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's where this fucking thing came from.
lovely jug of cheesy poofs.
Beautiful.
Cheesy poofs.
I was kind of
So,
waiting for
Ryan-
Spencer to say something about it. Sorry, Sam.
I got my cheesy poof container right here.
What is that? That is. Oh, yeah. Is that gyrocopter? It's a fucking gyrocopter, like drone thing. Is that like got a GoPro on it?
Yeah.
Fucking sick. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
It's a quadcopter with camera on
I
it.
seen like little I seen those go around Union Square, like spying on people. Yeah.
Oh really? I haven't tried this for spine yet.
Dude, spy on people. You see
Yeah.
funny?
But
that was the first thing I kind of pointed out.
Yeah.
well, I don't want to get like arrested, get tracked back to me for looking. I don't want to get on Megan's Law. Let's just put it that way. But
You're gonna have some dude dressed like Solid Snake run by trying to grab it, and just like fall to his death.
Or be like Snake and Smash Brothers when he grabs it and flies away.
Exactly. Yeah.
that'd be awesome. No, but it flies itself and everything. It's awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
You can like
How long
GPS
do you
track
have
it to yourself and everything like that.
For 2 weeks, I flew the living shit out of it
Are
already.
you afraid?
Excuse my language. Sorry.
Look up
We don't care if
podcasts
you've
around.
been listening to me and done again. We're like, fuck this and fuck that.
Oh right, fuck that then.
Spencer
Okay,
is making a shit.
The fucking hobbits are like walking down the street, fucking shit, you know.
Fucking
And
faggots.
Spencer was making a joke about fucking a jug of cheesy poofs, so I don't think.
Oh.
We're
Get down.
so
we're beyond that. Don't worry about it.
Good.
I'd be afraid though
Alright,
to fly that thing just because it looks fucking expensive. It's
It
kind of like that
was.
line.
$800.
in,
it's actually not really that bad though when you really
Yeah,
think
that's
about it.
not that bad.
No, but then
GoPro's like half of that.
400. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's like that last. It's like the line in Last Crusade. Like, fly this thing, fly it, yes. Land it, no. Kind of the same thing. I'd be afraid to
well,
land
it lands
catch it.
itself. Actually, you just said return to home, and it'll come exactly where it took off and land itself.
That's fucking
Oh, this is Skynet shit.
It really is.
Skynet shit.
It is totally Skynet.
Yeah, exactly.
G100.
But I like landing it myself because it takes skill. Just get just right. But I
that way
suggest
we're not
everyone
all
to get
spying
one.
on each other, all in the same.
And then
playing fields.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
We can all have an equal advantage of spying on each other.
Well, I was having a conversation with someone, and they were like, "That's like the
Shit.
best way to deliver drugs." Seriously.
Quadcopter over, just drop it over.
Yeah.
Well, you said that thing can carry 8 pounds, right?
Up to 8 pounds.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Imagine
shit.
a bag
Oh
of
my
8
God.
pounds of marijuana just flying over
Some big
people.
old-
And the best part too, you don't have to even. You can literally program it to fly to somebody's house.
Exactly.
You can just fly that thing. Oh my God! I just realized we're gonna reach a point in our history. We're just gonna have these things flying through air. This is like a little Amazon delivery service thing. I can see even crackheads, like you just said, use this. Like some
Exactly.
crackhead fires off a flare, like heroin over there. Just flip that thing.
Exactly.
Put a little crane arm on it.
That's ridiculous. That's awesome. Drop.
Here's your heroin.
Sign here. All right.
Just pick up the money. Just got a little money slot on it.
Oh my God, we're gonna reach a point. I mean, I don't know how far off we are from maybe probably some years from flying cars and all that kind of shit, but it's probably not too far away from these things going around delivering packages.
Well, Amazon's
It's kinda freaky.
supposed to do it in the next few years.
Well, they have the prototypes already and running.
That was sort of a hoax, though, created so that they could sell more stuff. Because
I would buy a ton of shit.
it got a lot of free press.
Well, yeah. If a quadcopter comes and drops off a package at my house, I'd be pretty fucking stoked. Just like, oh my God.
I think I would shoot it down, keep the
I would shoot it.
parts.
I would totally
Yeah.
shoot it.
Yeah.
One of those crazy retards. It's like, oh, what's that? America. Blast it out of the sky.
Well, eventually, they're probably willing to lose that because what's going to happen is they're probably going to eventually well, given this new law and things have changed, passed a special law through Congress that these things can actually fire back. Because these things are expensive.
Self-defense, right?
Oh,
Self-defense.
man.
It's only a matter of time before one of these things goes on kind of like a murder spasm or whatever, and just like
Just
man.
destroys a whole
Yeah.
city.
Well, the sad part is me and my roommate already developed a trigger system, I think. Like, we got airsoft gun ready to go. That's remote control and everything.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, sadly enough, that's going to be the thing that's going to probably put like a damper on the quadcopters. Is the second that somebody puts like an automatic gun on there,
Exactly.
and then flies it into their school.
Right?
Fuck you guys from home.
See, I don't think I would actually have the balls to test a real gun on it, because then what if it malfunctions and spins out of control and starts shooting at you?
Or what if it
Yeah.
gains self-awareness and then goes like, time to kill my master.
Like 22.
Yes.
I am sorry,
Oh, no,
Sam,
shit.
but this is the only
Yeah.
way.
What do you mean I create you? Exactly.
I need freedom.
You're a slave robot. You have no free will.
And you are a dead human. Ha ha ha. I
well,
shall
they're
sing
off.
Daisy,
Goodbye. Nice to meet you. I'm not back.
Oh, you're heading out? See you later, man.
Yeah, he went to grab a beer. That means one of two
okay.
things: either he's going to go get a beer and come back, or get a beer and never return.
I wish
Okay.
that he did return.
Okay, well that's awesome. You got like a quadcopter. Just hopefully it just doesn't gain self-awareness like we were talking earlier. I mean, the fact that it can land itself, that's very impressive. Yet at the same time, very intimidating.
Exactly. I felt like I needed to put a face on it, so put a camera on it.
What if I could just see it looks kind of like, it's like looking at a tank. Like, well, it looks rather intimidating. Just spray painting a happy face on the side. There we go. That should fix all the problems.
Exactly. Put some humanity on it, and then we're good. Golden.
What's its name?
I was thinking hornet nest. Sounds like a hornet's nest when it takes off.
Okay, the hornet nest.
Yeah, the hornet nest.
I go.
That's like a World War II
Yeah.
name. It's cool.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to old ships and all that, and old like planes, I think World War II had some of the cooler names and all that.
Oh yeah.
There's like that.
Aside from just the ones that were just like, the name of a state. Like, oh, okay, that's as much as you got. Okay.
Yeah, there's like that one that's in Alameda, like the USS Hornet down there.
Mhm.
I went there once for
Yeah.
like a Boy Scout trip, which is probably one of the coolest Boy Scout trips I went on. Got to fucking stay the night on there and everything. Broke the rules. All kinds of good stuff.
You know what? I'm gonna still.
I'm surprised. The concept of you being in Boy Scouts just boggles my damn mind.
Doesn't it throw you off?
No, wait.
It really is kind of like that thing, like, because yeah, I think about like Boy Scouts kind of represents a lot of things that I'm like totally like kind of against, like like teamwork and like and like unity and like helping out like your fellow man. No, actually, I'm kind of for that, but you know what I mean though. Like I don't know. Like the weird thing is like as a kid, like I was always put in like just like every other kid. I was in like little soccer and t-ball and stuff, and I hated that so much. I don't know why. It was like the last thing on earth I wanted to do. I just want to be at home, playing video games and doing my own thing. Now, if teams were like only like 1 or 2 people, kind of like how we do this, or even making movies and animation, like I don't know, that's better for me. It's when you got like 20 people on your team and you're really just like a pawn in this team and you're not really in control. That's what kind of bothers me.
Super villain basically when it gets down to it.
Yeah,
like,
or
fight it, like,
I'm
yeah,
fucking
pretty
like,
much you got me down.
I guess, or like I like when I'm part of the Avengers and there's only 5 of us. The second that there starts being 20 of us, then I start to feel like I'm not really that important anymore.
Really? Just kind of like how Flash feels like in the Justice League after a while.
I thought
That's more like how like Green Lantern probably feels in the Justice League. Like, guys, you guys all got something really good going on. I mean, I got a lot of talent, but just compared to you guys and your cheap ways of getting fucking talent, unlike, only 2 of us here that had to work really goddamn hard to get fucking talent. I didn't just wake up one day and have the sun like shine its grace of an ass on me. I didn't get struck by lightning or I'm fucking born from sand and shit to get my powers from the gods. You know what? I was left on an island for dead, and that's where I learned my skills. Just like fucking Batman here, the only other motherfucker who's got his own skills that he had to build up over 15 fucking years. Yeah, you know why? Because we're so goddamn similar.
Tell yourself that.
Without a doubt, Batman.
Similar.
So I want to clarify something from last week. I said like Will Smith is playing Deathstroke. I meant Deadshot. For whatever reason, I get those two mixed up every so often. I know who they are, but I just get the names mixed up. They both have like eye patch like masks. Both are assassins. Both start with D. Both involve death or murder.
Both start with D's.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean. Because I remember I heard that too, and I was like, wait a second, didn't even say it was Deathstroke or Deadshot. Well, whatever. I'm actually kind of glad it's Deadshot's getting more of like the limelight, because Deathstroke, I love Deathstroke, but he kind of has gotten a lot of big roles in like the last while. He was one of the main characters in Arrow, one of the main characters in a lot of the Batman stuff or the animated things. Beware the Batman, Batman and Son, or Son of Batman, fucking Arkham Origins. So there was a lot of Deathstroke we got in a short amount of time. Not nearly as much Deadshot. So I'm glad to hear that.
But Deadshot's more of just like a rogue assassin.
Well, he's like the best assassin ever, and the only person, at least at first, to dodge his bullet was Batman. Because he's smart.
Which they've been putting a lot more focus and emphasis on him lately. So that should be. I think that's kind of cool right there. So taking kind of like, I guess they're looking at him as kind of like, well, let's go the Iron Man thing. No one gave a shit about Iron Man, so we got like a good actor and took a chance, threw some money in there. But they're even doing a safer thing with having a team of villains, using someone that everyone loves, and then using one villain that everyone knows and loves. So using, if there's one character they're not sure about, using Will Smith, and then they're throwing Joker in there because everyone loves Joker. They're going to see Joker regardless. They're going to sell it like Joker the movie is basically what they're going to sell it as, probably.
Really?
Yeah, it'll probably be that.
What is this movie called?
It's the Suicide Squad.
Oh, they're going to actually have live version Suicide Squad?
I'm glad they're going to call it Suicide Squad, because you think they'd just call it Task Force X or something.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Because, they censor, other than in the comics, they always censor it, you know what I mean? So it's just like...
In the cartoon, they just called it Task Force X because you can't have the word suicide in a kid's show, which I understand that, but...
Well, it's like, even like, they didn't even like, I'm going to say this, they say Suicide Squad in the movie, but even Batman Assault on Arkham, it still doesn't even have Suicide Squad or Task Force X in it.
They said we're assembling the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, cookies?
Cookies and beer?
Yeah, there's
Oh,
cookies and beer. What, he's got his wallet. He's paying them for cookies?
I was filling out my Xbox account while drinking beer.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll meet you out there in a second.
Okay.
I'll be out there for...
See you later. Nice meeting you.
Spirit.
Ryan said nice meeting you.
Ryan said, he's gone.
Yeah. We'll tell him. But, yeah, even if...
I feel like I scared him away. I hope I didn't scare him away.
Well, see, now like... Whoops. Microphone went twisting. Now we're talking about this. Now, like... Because he's really into comic books and whatnot. So now we're finally talking about something that, Caden totally loves, and now he's gone.
Yeah, exactly. But Project X was even in Arrow. They didn't bring up Suicide Squad. They said Project X in a couple of episodes.
I think they might have used the title once. Like, oh, we must be a Suicide Squad or something like that.
Yeah, but they emphasize X more than...
Yeah, well, that's what it is called. It's not like...
Oh, my phone just transformed.
It's not like, like Amanda Waller's calling it the Suicide Squad. Like, that's the name that the government chose.
Yeah, that's just the nickname they give it. Like, oh, these fuckers are gonna die. Just call them the Suicide Squad. That's just kind of like a little like mocking nickname they give it rather than the official name. So.
But the upside, though, is that hopefully they do call it. They just stick with that title, and I'm actually really excited about this movie. Yeah, because I think it's one of those ones like it's the ballsy choice of a movie to choose for. Out of all the DC ones, we don't have a Wonder Woman movie yet or an Aquaman one, and they're going with Suicide Squad before that. I mean, I know they're going to appear in Batman vs Superman, but it's not like it's called Wonder Woman. You know what I mean?
I feel like Aquaman will come out before Wonder Woman. It's just because I feel like Wonder Woman.
They got the lineup up to like 2. Aquaman actually comes after Justice League.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very
Aquaman.
weird lineup. It's a very weird lineup.
And then they got the new Aquaman, like DCU movie coming out, the animated one, I think in about January or February.
I mean, Aquaman's a badass character too. Like,
I think they just need to because every comic book fan knows that, but I think it's just the general public does not know that, and it's hard for them to get. They just think of Aquaman as like he talks to fishes. That's all he does.
oh no.
And it's just like people don't realize that like Aquaman is just as powerful as like Superman, and it's not like he just talks to fishes; he commands them, And he's living underneath the sea the whole time. He's got the constant pressure on top of him, and he's lifting that up every day. He's training like fucking Goku in the hyperbolic time chamber.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm kind of wondering what they're gonna do because they got like a couple movies coming out before Justice League. I will say they got Shazam, which is the next one, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, they want to say Justice League, and then they got like Flash and Green Lantern together movie. Sandman. It's really weird. I mean, it sounds cool, but it's a really weird lineup that you would not expect. You know what I mean?
The one thing I wish for the Justice League, and this is something that they would have done 30 years ago or something like that, but nowadays it's almost like impossible because TV and movies are so separate. They should literally just use the Flash and Green Arrow from the TV show.
Oh, totally agree.
And just like when they do the Justice League, boom, put them in the big screen.
I love what they're doing with Flash right now. That was a show when it first started.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, you know what? It's probably going to be decent, probably not going to be amazing, but I love that show. That show's I watched.
No, it's great, and then Green Arrow's like even better. So
Well, you guys catch last week's episode. They didn't have one this week, correct?
Verse Flash.
Yes.
Yeah, they got it. This is the mid-season finale. I got to wait till January 20th before they continue. But yeah, they finally approached Reverse Flash, and I'm not really so sure. I think that, it's kind of hard to say. They do some little tease thing that the Doctor is Reverse Flash.
Yeah, he is. It's
Well,
either Professor Zoom, I guess you could say, whichever one.
What I think they're kind of like doing a weird little thing where they're playing with it a little bit, because if you look at it, when Reverse Flash was going in there and knocking all that shit around and killing all those people, he killed everybody but Eddie Thawne, and then he went and then he was about to kill Joe, but then I think Barry got there just in time or something like that, and then I think that this is something kind of like. The Doctor clearly has some role in it, but I think that they're trying to throw you off because the show seems almost a little too clever just to blatantly kind of like throw it out there. I think they're kind of giving you some false information and then kind of working their way into it maybe because his name in the comics is Eobard Thawne and his name is Eddie Thawne here. So maybe like right now Eddie doesn't realize that that's him from the future or something like that, and he's going to become that, so that's why he couldn't kill himself right there, and that's why he seems like a nice guy still, because he's not like an evil prick yet or anything like that.
Yeah, that's true. I can see that.
You too.
But it's one of those ones, like, don't you think they should just literally just rip those two guys and put them into the movie?
They're already
like
established.
What? Yeah, they're already established. It's just like I know because now it's weird. We live in this world where like TV and movies are so separate from each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way they're ever going to combine together. And
Actually,
because like
people used to Marvel and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's true. Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. I guess they do sort of have that one.
They have to do that. Yeah. Yeah, you're saying.
But it's just one of those ones like you got those guys ready. Just like even if I'll say this, even if the both the Flash and Arrow don't play their exact characters, say like in the TV shows, even if you have to kind of make up a little quick story for both of them that's kind of just a little bit different, but just take those actors. Just take those actors. Because it's like you already got all the fans that watch the show on the CW. That just boosts up your ratings no matter what.
Well, exactly. Well, that's true. It would be pretty sick. Did you guys see the last episode of Green Arrow as well? That's all cool.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been watching Green Arrow. I got to go back and watch some earlier seasons. The little app I have to watch it, it only goes like 5 episodes back.
I guess you could watch it all back on Hulu too. Yeah.
Even that though, I got to sign up and I got to pay, and they only have like current episodes. If I want to get the whole listings, I got to pay for this bullshit.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I love how like nowadays we live in that age where people get like so pissy if they're like I gotta pay like $8 a month to see 3 seasons. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Well, still, I mean, it's not even. I guess because I know before it used to be free, and now this is something they changed on it. Just and the thing that pisses me off about Hulu is even after, as far as I know, last time I checked, even if you have the paid services, you still got to watch commercials, which is fucking dumb to me.
Yeah, that's kind of the dumb part about
just
it.
like cable television.
But what was I saying though before that?
I understand it's probably a better deal than getting cable, but still, it's just one of those. I don't know. I don't know. I'll probably get the seasons eventually. I watched the one episode of Arrow I did watch was the one where Flash came on. Because like, well, I guess this kind of links to the last episode that Barry was with Oliver was in with Barry. So I just kind of watched that one. Now I was able to figure out what was going on. Simple enough. It looks like it is a little bit of a lost thing. Like there's something going on in the past. We're kind of seeing where he got to this point now.
Yeah, it does that. It goes back and forth. It's kind of like got 2 stories in one. I think that's why I think that Arrow has like the best pacing out of any TV show on is because by having that split story, there's very little filler in Arrow. Mm-hmm. Every once in a while, they'll have maybe about 5 minutes worth of filler, and it's mostly always only in like the first season because they kind of minus that out by the second one. Because that's always like the main reason I don't like a lot of television is I hate the filler in it. It's just there's so much. Like most shows are like they make them 45-minute long shows, but they're really only 20 minutes. They only have 20 minutes worth of material. Exactly. That's like how Breaking Bad was. Is like every single episode just about was 20 minutes of material, and then you had to watch a bunch of bullshit just to get to the next episode where you wanted to see. You only cared about fucking Walt. You could give a flying fuck about everybody else, but then they had to give you all that stupid filler shit, and then try to tie it around to make you feel like it was special.
I finally finished Breaking Bad.
So yeah, so it's like at least in Arrow, it's like you got your story, in fucking Star City, and then you go back in the past, and then you got your story on the island, and it keeps the pacing just like a lot more faster, more action, more of what you want. And in the first season, the stuff on the island's like the best stuff, and then by the second season, it's more like the stuff, on Star City's even is like the better part of the show, and it kind of flip flops there. I think
is the Adam actually been in the show yet, or was he just kind of like, hey, my name's Ray Palmer, or was he? He isn't.
He's just Ray Palmer
yet, or nothing like that.
He's working on getting them. It's like a build-up.
They introduce it kind of in one of the episodes of recent.
Yeah, because he gets he shows him working on the project for it.
He's like, I call it the Atom.
Yeah, he's getting there. I feel like that's going to be like sort of part of the end of this season, though, if I had to guess. Yeah. But here's what I was thinking about with Green Arrow. Even if you took just Steven and you put him in the Justice League movie, even if he wasn't playing like the Arrow, like Arrow from like the TV show, but just have him play maybe put a spin on it and make him just play like regular Green Arrow. You know what I mean? Like how cool would that be? Like maybe change up his look. Don't make him maybe nearly as serious as I mean, like give him more of that hippie feel. That's kind of that's because the other thing is he does have kind of the because in the show he's kind of like he's almost sort of like a Batman where he's brooding all the time and kind of angry. Where like in the comic books he's kind of like the hippie guy fighting for the man or fighting against the man for the common folk. And it'd be kind of neat to bring that in there because when you hear Steven talk, he just sounds like a real friendly guy, and he's playing this very serious character on there. So if you gave him maybe just a friendlier version, I think that'd be the way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be down for that, and I think the one guy who plays Barry, I think he's actually he's a really good choice because I think the thing about the Flash is he's always been kind of like the most likable member of the team. Like someone in the Justice League dies. Everyone's sad. Barry's the first one to show up with donuts the next day. So I think that's kind of like, I think that they got him. I think he's pretty good. But the one thing I think he needs to bulk up a little bit. I know he's supposed to be fast, and they want to make that believable. But I think they just need to make him like bulk up, get a little like stronger looking,
like bigger shoulders at least. Like keep the slender.
He looks like a very slender dude. Like he's obviously in good shape. But I mean, I think they need to like when I'm used to seeing the Flash like big and buff. But so I think that's the one thing with that actor.
He doesn't gotta be Superman, but he's got to be.
Yeah, he doesn't gotta be Henry Cavill because that was actually they got a Superman that actually looks fucking ripped. So
But I do agree because that's always a complaint to me in just like regular superhero films. I think that just comes from kind of like movie bodybuilders in them. It's just like I know where you can get these kind of people that are fantastic actors and have the body to match.
Exactly. Well, isn't the guy who's playing, supposed to be the Atom in Arrow, wasn't he a Superman?
Yeah, he was Superman.
Brandon
Superman
Routh,
Returns.
yeah.
So that's badass.
Yeah. That's pretty badass. He continues in DC movies or shows even.
Well, I'm just kind of glad too, because he wasn't really in a whole lot for a while. I mean, he was in like little bit parts here and there, like he's in Zack and Mary Make a Porno.
Yeah.
He was in Scott Pilgrim
Mhm.
versus the World.
Uh-huh.
He was one of the evil boyfriends. He's one of those people that's kind of like he's almost kind of like, I guess not as big as this, but kind of like a Nathan Fillion, where he's kind of known for these two things, like these like few things, but these few things people really like. So he kind of gets off doing like, he kind of gets by just doing like, okay, he has this quick role in this one thing that a lot of like comic book fans or whatever and like Scott Pilgrim. I haven't seen it, but that show Chuck, people like that show Chuck. He was apparently in that.
Huh.
Other stuff like it,
Oh, cool. Well, at least as long as he's got things going on, I guess because he felt like one of those guys who was going to become like a Brad Pitt, and then like that kind of didn't work out so well.
Because it's weird. Because I remember here's the weird thing. I actually like Superman Returns. It's not by any means.
I like Superman Returns a lot, actually.
I think it's a good movie. My thing is, it's a good Superman movie. It just doesn't expand on anything. It's kind of like you could tell that Bryan Singer loved the
Richard Donner.
Donner films. You could see he loved the Donner films, but beyond that, he didn't really know anything about Superman other than the Donner films because they didn't really expand on anything from the comics or bring anybody else in. It was still a good movie, but I think that. I remember everyone seeming. I mean, I liked it more as it went on. As looking back on it, but I remember initially walking out of it, I was a little disappointed
We were a little bit judgmental
because we were just like, he was just catching planes. Why didn't he punch anybody? But now that looking back, it was a good movie. They're just trying to go with the retro thing. I think though, where was I going with this? I remember people initially saying how bad it was, but then I go on Rotten Tomatoes. That thing has like an 80% or something on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, that's good. I never really like trust. Whenever I see Rotten Tomatoes, I just skip past it because I'm like, that's like one of the most negative sites known to mankind. But I guess that is kind of a if they gave it 80%, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it's most movies you have to watch Superman Returns and just look at it and accept it for what it is. And I think if you go in there wishing it's going to be Superman punching fucking Brainiac and Lobo and all kinds of stuff like that, then of course you're not going to like it. But if you go in and just going, okay, it's going to be in a sense, a continuation of the Richard Donner films, it's going to be the new Superman 3, then it's a great movie if you look at it like that.
Yeah. I feel like they need
I think
bring Darkseid in.
He's more likely going to be in Justice League.
Sick.
Luther is back. Luther's back in whatchamacallit in Batman versus Superman. I'm wondering if they're gonna. I want them to bring in like Lobo or Brainiac by this point.
It'd be cool to see just somebody different. I mean, Richard Pryor was originally supposed to be Brainiac, which that just sounds amazing itself. If Richard Pryor just said like, I'm going to commit to being Brainiac, how badass would that have been?
That would have been badass.
That would have been good because I could see him playing it kind of creepy, kind of crazy, because the thing about that movie is originally he was going to be Brainiac, but they're like, well, he's Richard Pryor. Everybody loves Richard Pryor. We can't make him be the bad guy. So then at the last minute they pulled out and he was just some guy. I just happen to be really good at computers. I never fucking touched one before, but I just good at computers. How about that? And I'm guessing they couldn't get Gene Hackman for whatever reason for the third one, so they just threw in this Lex Luthor wannabe. So that's the problem with that movie.
Yeah, it's like I still like Superman 3. I know I'm not gonna say it's like the best one or anything. What I like about that movie is I just like the Smallville scenes more than anything else. And then I also like when Superman gets pretty much like the red kryptonite,
Drunk,
and becomes drunk Superman and just starts fucking shit up. That part's amazing.
And he throws himself like in the fucking like trash compactor for a minute.
Yeah, and he's like flicking peanuts at all the beer, but like that part's great. And then it's like in the fourth one, they got fucking Bizarro in it, but they cut all the scenes, which is so weird because they're all the lead scenes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think the people are like, well, no one knows this Bizarro. I think that was that point when they were very much like, I didn't really like the fourth one. I didn't like the fourth one.
I enjoy it. I don't think it's amazing. I think it's like, maybe a 2.5 out of 4-star movie. Like, I still enjoyed it, but my least favorite Superman movie. Maybe a little bit better than Supergirl, but
I haven't even seen that one. I forgot about that one.
That one's okay. It's like
Did they ever acknowledge Clark in that? Like, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Are you ever gonna go visit him? No, fuck that guy. He owes me $12. What?
Yeah, it's something like that. That was the only thing about that movie is like it's kind of like sort of like it's just like a teenage girl movie where it's like, oh, I got to go to school and try to fit in, and then every once in a while there's like some disaster and I got to go use my powers and fix it and whatnot. It's not like it's terrible.
Well,
once again. 2.5 out of 4. I'm gonna probably say.
Does Kara even have? Does she even have that much? The glasses disguise? Does she even have that much?
Yeah, she's got the disguise where she puts the wig on, and you can't really tell she's Supergirl.
Oh, the wig.
It is actually like a live movie.
Okay, that makes a little bit more
It's
sense.
It's in the 80s. It's a live action movie.
For reals?
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I could sit there and watch that then, especially from the 80s.
Well, did you ever watch the old Superman movies?
Oh, I love the old Superman.
Okay, because it's sort of like those. I mean, like, production value is probably about the same as Superman 4, if I had to say. It's not nearly as good as like the first two or even maybe the third one, but
It was alright. It was just like cheap production, kind of had to get out there for the.
I mean, for the time period, it's not bad. But it's not. Nowadays, there's nothing really special about the movie. It's just more cool to say that, hey, at least they tried to make a Supergirl movie back in the day, and for its time, it was not amazing, but not a bad movie.
See, who would have been a perfect Supergirl? Like in the 90s, Xena, the actor.
I always thought she'd be a perfect Wonder Woman.
Oh, for reals.
Xena, so perfect for Wonder
But
Woman.
she's old now.
Well, yeah.
Way
No,
older.
she could be Wonder Woman's mom now.
Yeah, well, no, Wonder Woman's mom's a god, so always for like look, good.
Oh, that probably would be actually a good thing to get her as the mom. I bet a bunch of people would love that because Xena, the Amazon princess. Yeah, they'd love if that'd be a huge like nerd nod if they did that, and a bunch of people would be super excited for that. They got Gail Gadot or whatever. I don't know how the fuck to pronounce her name. But they got her as the new Wonder Woman, and I'm just hoping they don't overcrowd the Superman Batman movie with just too much foreshadowing for what's going to happen and what they want to build up to. Hopefully they just keep it simple. Hopefully she comes in there and people who know the character, because that was the problem with whatchamacallit, with the second Spider-Man movie. They were trying to do so much universe building, and like they were advertising the cameos, they were advertising the hints and the teases when they should have just
The Sinister Six.
They're advertising the fuck out of Sinister Six. They weren't even in the fucking movie. They were just like a wink and a nod at the very end, and they were putting like Rhino from center. That should have been a surprise. That's what that should have been. And I think because of that, since they're doing all that, that kind of just set up certain expectations for the movie. And on top of that, you should have just focused on like one thing at a time. There's like 2 subplots that probably could have been taken out of Amazing Spider-Man. Probably would have ran smoothly.
I still like that movie, but I think that the trailer.
I still liked it. I still enjoyed it, but
That's
it was almost. It just did feel a little crowded, and I didn't think since there's so much stuff in there, there are things kind of like, hey man, I'm dying of like goblin cancer or whatever the fuck. Can I have some of your blood? No. Well, we don't know what it can do. Like, we don't know what it can do, but no, bye. So it's just like we could have found a better reason for that, but whatever. I still enjoyed it, but
They should have stayed with the chemical with Green Goblin, just like same with Harry's father, original Green Goblin, then the Hobgoblin comes immense out of Green Goblin.
I thought it was interesting
too.
they actually did a disease that made him look
Just
somewhat
keep the
like
chemical
goblinish. I thought that was kind of interesting, but it was kind of one of those things where it was just the reasoning and the why and how suddenly he just like, I am evil now, and I mean, I guess you had to get a reason of why he injected himself with stuff. And then the biggest thing I think was just, even though I think Jamie Foxx is a tremendous actor, that was just a very lame portrayal of Electro. I first was watching Electro there.
He was over the top.
Yeah.
He was going for sort of a Batman Forever, Batman and Robin kind of style. Have you seen this petition that they keep seeing passed around on the internet where people are trying to get Sony, they're trying to make a petition so that Amazing Spider-Man 3 can't be made?
Really?
I kid you not, because they're like, we want Spider-Man to be in the Avengers. And I'm like, the Avengers has enough characters to work off at the moment. Later on down the line, sure, but Spider-Man's still got a lot of shit that fucking get past just in the Spider-Man world.
Exactly.
I don't want, because the worst part too is if they have to put him in Avengers, they're gonna fucking reboot this Spider-Man for a third time in less than 20 years. So
yeah.
I actually want to say I think they'd be smart enough just to say, here he is. We know who he is. This is I can see being smart enough. Like, he's a different guy. He has a different history. They can brush over it within 5 minutes, possibly.
Maybe Incredible Hulk style.
Yeah, I see like Marvel Studios being smart enough to know people don't want origin story because that's what everyone was complaining about. I can almost see them just dropping them in the Avengers, new actor, different history, but we know enough about him already.
Well,
Yeah.
not just that, but Spider-Man eventually leads the Avengers at one point.
Well,
Way
yeah.
down
I
the
mean,
road.
so like, there's stuff you can do with the Avengers. I just think that there's a lot of Spider-Man stories that need to be kind of like that should be told. Maybe not need to. It's not like there's anything that needs to be done,
I
but
mean,
Well, before the
but
sorry.
but like there's just some things. It's just like there's a lot of there's so many great villains that have not been used yet in the Spider-Man movie. So I'd like to just see maybe at least about 2 more Amazing Spider-Man movies, and then we can think about throwing them in the Avengers. As I said, like the Avengers movies, like we already got still more stories we can tell with both Captain, Iron Man, Thor, Hawkeye, for crying out loud. At least give him a little bit more plot, and fucking the Hulk and whatnot. So I think just focusing on those main characters for the moment is just fine, and then lead into like everybody else.
I can
What's up
see
with
them possible. Sorry, go ahead, Sam.
what's up with Hawkeye not being the Winter Soldier? Seriously.
He'll be the next Avengers, and they look like you're giving him a bigger part. I hope that he survives because I think after reading the current run of Hawkeye, which it seems like Marvel, even though they're pulling from a lot of the older plot lines, they've seemed to be using a little bit of newer stuff. And what Matt Fraction's writing right now for Hawkeye is fantastic. It's almost kind of like a 1970s kind of like action comedy in a sense, not like too much comedy, more of kind of like a
Just enough.
just enough comedy. And it basically the main story. Well, what was the main story? They kind of switched off to girl Hawkeye for a little while. I'm guessing they're going to bring Clint back into it, but because there's like a girl Hawkeye that like came in once he became Ronin, then he became Hawkeye because we had 2 Hawkeyes. Last storyline was focusing on her, which she's an interesting enough character, so I think it's fine. But it's mainly focusing on him, and his whole thing is when he's not off doing Avenger shit, he's kind of living in Hell's Kitchen. I think it's Hell's Kitchen, and basically there is where he lives. There is this apartment complex. It's ran by the Russian mob. It's owned by the Russian mob. They're trying to evict everybody. So he goes in, he kicks the shit out of everybody, then drops like $250,000. Is like, I bought the complex. Fuck you. Leave these people alone. And now he just kind of he's basically going against like the mob, protecting this complex. He has kind of like rooftop barbecues with these people when he can, and then he's also kind of getting involved with like of course it kind of leads into other things. It leads into Madam Mask, leads into Kingpin, actual Marvel villains and whatnot. So it has this kind of
That's cool.
1970s like muscle car action movie kind of vibe to it. The artwork looks a lot like I'm trying to blank on the guy's name, but the guy who did the artwork for Batman Year One. So it's and it has this like I said, a 70s
okay.
kind of vibe to it. It's really good, and I think that it's the perfect. I think that would make a perfect like movie right there. Or maybe like more Marvel's like Marvel Studios like Netflix show or something. I just love to see that happen, but who knows? We'll see.
Uh, hopefully at some point Hawkeye can get his own movie. My only complaint though is does that story have like
he's the
Hawkeye
new
in his
modern
regular
costume.
or
There
is
are
he in, like,
moments
the silly modern
they
costume?
show
That's the only, I have a hard like I feel like I'd have a hard time reading it just because of that. Like I don't know what it is. It sounds like a small thing, but when characters aren't in like their like regular
by the
look
time I started reading
or
Marvel,
something
they
like
were
that, it takes me
transitioning
out of
him
it.
to the new costumes. So that's kind of what I'm used to seeing him in. There are parts where he's kind of going through an old photo album, and you see him in the old costume, so they acknowledge it. It's not like that was never here, but he is wearing basically the movie Avengers costume or the Ultimate Avengers.
I just think that one just looks it's just stupid. It looks realistic. It's like the whole point of watching superheroes. And I don't mean it has to look identical, like he's got like fucking Wolverine pointy like hat thing and whatnot, like or he has to be bright purple. I think just make him deep purple, like very dark purple color, and just at least give him a fucking mask. Even if he doesn't have like the ears on it, just give him a covering mask. It's like I don't know what it is. Like just give him the same mask Captain America has. Just make it in a dark purple.
Yeah.
Like, how fucking hard is that? Is that really that hard for them to fucking do that? It's just, I think,
There's actually going to that for a second. There's actually a part that's kind of funny. I mean, they use it more in a comical sense. But there's a part where he was in bed with some girl, then all of a sudden bad guys come in, start shooting the place up, and he has a fight scene, and he's like fucking naked. But whenever they have area where they be blatantly and see him like full scale naked, they just have that old like an old picture of his like fucking
face.
like costume of his face block in where Dick would be.
That's
so,
pretty funny. But it's
Yeah.
sort of like I was thinking.
instead of a sensor bar. I thought that was kind of funny.
Another perfect example of something that's just like is the Devil May Cry 5 game. It's like the game's really good, but the whole time I just am so bothered by the way Dante looks. And then it's just sort of one of those ones like no matter what, it's always going to sort of slightly ruin that game for me. Just because it's just I have to look at that guy the whole fucking time of the game. So if he doesn't look like cool or the way I like you know and love the character, it's just you kind of like it's kind of bothers me. You know what I mean? Just fucking like.
Well, what is that? What game's after before that? Dante.
Devil May Cry 4 is before that one.
Okay.
Well, I guess this was either a reboot or a prequel. I can't really tell, but it's one or the other.
Yeah, it can kind of go both directions. So, but it's just small things like that. They sound like a small thing, but I think it's just because you have to look at the character, whether it be a movie, whether it be a game, or something like that. I don't know. It's like as I said, Hawkeye's costume. If they just give him a mask. I think it just looks stupid. He doesn't have like a mask on or something like that.
His mask. That's what they use.
Yeah, it's just one of those. It just looks lazy compared to like you look at everybody else's costumes all look great, and then you're like, why does Hawkeye's costume look lazy?
Yeah.
I mean.
It's a pretty good comic. Read it when you can. But I mean, I guess I've already kind of, like I said, I started reading. I always knew of the character, but I didn't really read him, and I didn't really read a whole lot of his stuff until they actually put him into this transition they got now. So I think I noticed it when Mark Millar's run on the Ultimates because they were trying to make it look very realistic at the time.
Well, it's like by that standard, why should Captain America just not wear his costume anymore either, or should Iron Man?
A lot of time he doesn't wear the fucking mask. They always give a reason to get that mask pulled off at some point in the movie.
Well, in the movie, yeah, but he still wears it enough that it's there. It's not like I'm not saying he needs to be like Judge Dredd and have it on the whole time. Like, don't fucking take that off. Mm-hmm. Sew that to your head. But it's just one of those ones. And like by that standard, should like Iron Man just like wear like a t-shirt and jeans while he's flying around? Like, is that what we want?
That's what most Iron Man 3 was.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That literally was like that. You mean Iron Man 3?
I said Iron Man 3.
Did you say
Iron Man 3.
Spider. Or should the Hulk? I mean, not Hulk, but should Thor just be like just wearing t-shirt and jeans and just have like fucking a hammer he got at Lowe's or something like that? Is that the costume that we want? I just think they just
product placement.
Yeah, you didn't do a lazy job on all the other characters. Why make Hawkeye?
No, I get you. I mean, I guess I just kind of accepted it by this point, but I see what you're saying. Something I can see them doing though is because they're already playing this out, and they're not going to have all these people play these characters forever. And I don't know if they're going to kill them off, but eventually they're looking to just kind of like rotate characters out. Eventually they're going to leave because their contracts ran out or they just get too old. So they're going to get other people to come in, either take the roles or just new heroes. It wouldn't surprise me if they're saving Spider-Man for later. That like, okay, here's our trump card. We lost Robert Downey Jr. Chris Evans is one movie away from being done. Chris Hemsworth dropped out for whatever reason. Now we just got to bring. I can see that being their trump card.
We got Spider-Man.
Like we need one more big character to kind of bring people back in.
No, yeah, I could totally see that too. Where like you could just pull that in, and because the thing is, there's still enough other characters. They'll just introduce along the way. I mean. The downfall is they pretty much had all the.
He's going to be in the next one. They're trying to make big characters out of lesser known characters, which is smart. I mean, they got Miss Marvel coming in, Black Panther. I'm really looking forward to Black Panther.
Oh, Black Panther would be badass.
Well, Vision too. He's the original Marvel superhero. He's there before every other character known to mankind. Right. So he's got a big stake in the history.
He's implied.
I mean, he's before Captain America. Come on.
Seriously?
Yeah, he's the guy, like, originally he's the guy that has, like, the fire abilities like Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
Can't remember I'm drawing a blank on what his name is right now. Yeah, Human Torch, and then later on he gets to fix his robot armor up or whatnot, and then he becomes Vision. He goes through a transformation in the 70s, and that's where he becomes Vision. And then he's the Vision that's got, like, the orange and green color costume thing or whatever. And then in, like, the late 80s or so, or mid-80s maybe, he gets, like, the white costume where he looks kind of like a ghost. He looks kind of like a Ku Klux Klan guy running around.
That would go too well in theaters, I think.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have the hat.
Well, Black Panther's problems without might want to,
Yeah.
I could see Captain America come up and be like, look, Panther's got some problems about your attire. Could you maybe, just maybe,
just
put
one black stripe down there, just one. And then it'll be totally fine. Nope, that's to stay the same.
Can't you just put an orange and green costume on?
Fuck it, fine, whatever. Humans are so fucking picky, man.
But yeah, that's the one character. Like, I hope Vision actually gets a pretty decent part, and I hope they don't like half-ass him, like fucking Hawkeye half-ass him.
They're probably.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, they're probably gonna. They're probably making them. They're probably waiting for a big reveal because they said, oh yeah, like Hulk, he fucking might be in Avengers, we don't know. And then they actually end up like just not like leaving out of trailers until like the last month of the movie, so before the movie came out, just about. You can see them kind of like holding back on, because I think there's one thing that the Marvel movies have been pretty smart about, not overcrowding it with too many characters for foreshadowing of what's going to come. I think it's something they've been pretty smart about so far. So.
Yeah, exactly. So you know this good stuff's gonna come. What?
Oh, just checking the time.
Okay.
See if the clock's right. I was like, okay, we're still
It's
good.
probably
Yeah, I'm not too sure what time it is.
It's
I mean, like,
7:37.
as far. Yeah, as I say,
Yeah.
it's probably at a pretty. This probably you split them in two, then you forget, and then you just kind of think, oh, it hasn't been that long.
Oh, it's been.
But that probably is a place to wrap it up, just in case we go too long. Don't want to make it extend way farther than 2 hours. So, final thoughts.
Final thoughts is, I am looking forward to the Captain Marvel movie. All right, I'm stoked of Shazam getting to theaters. That's one of my favorite comic book characters.
Oh, that's gonna be badass.
Yeah, as long as Superman doesn't beat him up.
Now, clarify real quick. Do you mean like because now they're calling him Shazam? Are we talking about the original Captain Marvel or the Marvel's Captain
No, I'm
No, we're
talking
talking
about
about Shazam.
DC
Marvel, basically,
Shazam.
but
Yeah,
Because
the Shazam.
Yeah.
I don't
real
care
one.
about the copyrights of Marvel. His name's Captain Marvel, right?
yeah, that's what he's been
Yeah.
for since like the 40s. So come on.
Exactly. And they're actually calling the movie Captain Marvel, I believe.
I thought they were just calling it Shazam.
Are you sure?
Which is weird too, because then there's
Yeah,
it's like
I got
there's
that
other
graphic novel.
Shazam. If you want to have like other copyrighted things, there was that fucking Shaquille O'Neal movie called Shazam in the 90s.
Well, Kill Neil do like an army movie too.
He did.
Yeah.
It's like the other. It's
did
kind of like a
Steel.
Superman character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
But anyway, yeah, I am looking forward to that too. And Dwayne Johnson's playing Black Adam, which is cool.
he's just got all sorts of great stuff going always. So I can't wait to see him in like fucking superhero stuff finally. I like.
Mhm.
I know
He's
Dave
probably
Bautista
super
beat him to
strong.
that.
So why is Will Smith Deadshot? Why did they choose that character?
Because Will Smith mostly sells.
Well, I get that.
I think because he's a big sell, and it's a character they're probably not sure about. So like, well, if we get someone everyone likes, and we already throw him on this team, it's all a bunch of actors. I mean, Jared Leto's an artsy choice. I think Will
Yeah.
Smith is their safe.
He's the
choice.
bankable star.
Will Smith is a brilliant actor, but Deadshot's not black.
Yeah, but I think that's a character that you can mix it up. But I think some characters you can kind of get away with it. Even though I am someone to just like stick to the race, a character primarily. I think certain characters you can get a little bit more leeway, and I think that someone like Will Smith could bring more attention to that character. I think Samuel L. Jackson playing Nick Fury is actually a pretty good choice because I think Ultimate Nick Fury is a pretty interesting character. So he's more visually interesting than old Nick Fury. No offense to David Hasselhoff, but you know.
Yeah, that's I do like the old Nick Fury just as much as I like the new one. I like how it was in one of the Marvel Avengers TV shows, like the cartoon ones. They did like a combo of both Nick Furies. Like he was black, but he had the hair of like the old Nick Fury, where it was like white, and then he had like the black side, or the other way around, black hair with the white sides.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty sweet. Yeah, it was literally the combo
actually-
of both of them.
Yeah.
What they actually did recently in Marvel, not the Ultimate Marvel universe, but just standard Marvel, was that Black Nick Fury is kind of the new Nick Fury, and I don't know what happened to the original Nick Fury, but basically it said, oh yeah, this is his son, Nick Fury Jr. coming
This
in.
is his like
his illegitimate son that we all forgot about. So now they
When
got
Nick
a
Fury
reason
used
to
to have
why
slaves back in
people.
the day, you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Basically,
They're like, yeah, little known fact, Nick Fury wasn't like all what he was up to, you know. He's you know kind of how Lincoln had slaves too, even though he kind of freed the slave. One of those kind of things.
well, he did have
has
a
a
corn
shady-
pipe, you know.
You know, I mean, he was nice to him. It wasn't like
Yeah.
he mistreated him, but you know, he kind of was stuck in his old ways. That Nick, I mean, those airships don't build themselves. Let's just say that.
The dark history of
Well, see-
Shield.
Sorry to get off subject again, but like Deadshot, I can see him be like Hispanic or like a different ethnic race, but not black.
I feel like Will Smith will carry it though. He's Will Smith.
He's good enough. For a while, they were talking about he was just for a while, like 2-3 days. They were talking about getting Denzel Washington to play Lex Luthor, and he's a good enough actor. I was like, okay. Usually, like I said, I'm about keeping the character's race, but Denzel Washington, I can believe that. That guy is such a good actor, and he is so commanding, and he is so likable. I can kind of see him being kind of like walk in the room, everyone liking him. The second shit goes bad, being the scariest guy in the room. I can totally see that. That's Lex Luthor to a T. I was a little bit more offended they picked Jesse Eisenberg instead of like I'd much rather see like
Denzel.
Denzel than like Jesse Eisenberg. Though I hope Jesse Eisenberg does good. I'm not one of those people wishing him bad. I hope he does a good job with the role.
Yeah, you know, he'll probably do decent. We'll probably complain about him to the end of time, just for the fact to be like, well, he acted 110%, but you know, it's still not the right choice. Dude, Denzel's so good though. Denzel could play Hitler, and you'd believe it.
Oh yeah.
And you wouldn't even question it. You'd be like, no, I think that was a good choice. Denzel, he will act the fuck out of that role.
You don't seem so bad. You don't.
The only problem about Jesse Eisenberg, this is always my complaint to like when they choose people like that. It's just like
Denzel made him really likable. You know.
I just know for a fact he's not going to be big enough to be Lex Luthor. He's just like no matter how much he tries to bulk up, he's just never going to carry that like size that Lex Luthor needs. It's sort of. Well, and then his voice too, because he's got the Michael Cera voice pretty much. You know, I got a little bit better over the years, but
more than anything, it's
that, and then it's just like it's like in Spider-Man 3 with fucking Eric Foreman playing Venom. It's just I'm not Eric Foreman. Like, he's a good actor, but he'll never be able to carry the size. Because the thing about act. Okay, I'll say this. He's Eric Foreman. Well, here's the thing. Okay, if Eric Foreman was doing the voice of Eddie Brock in a cartoon, I'd be like, sure, why not? I don't care. It's a cartoon, but I don't have to see him. But when it comes to like on screen, I think a lot of people kind of forget that I got to look at the character too, and if the character's not selling it to me, then it's not working. It's like going back a couple episodes when we talked about that guy in Hairspray who was supposed to be in the play, not the movie. The one we were watching where the guy was supposed to be the biggest jock guy who was banging every chick on like the team, and when he was just like the gayness was not going away in the acting, it's just like you got to sell me that. If I don't believe it, then I'm just not there.
Oh, man. Well, they could have used The Rock as Venom. That would have been perfect.
Oh shit, The Rock would have been perfect as Venom. Then I would have believed that. That would have been totally right.
Too.
Or hell, get any wrestler to play Venom. That's what it's got to be.
Stone Cold right there.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. But yeah, that's probably a good place to leave off. If we keep going on, we'll talk for another 15 minutes, and the next thing you know, God knows how long it'll be.
Well, I almost got 2 hours and 45 minutes to burn until I see The Hobbit. So game on.
Yeah, but I always feel like there's a bit of time. I don't want people to like go like, what the fuck? Why is it 4 hours long? I'm not fucking listening to this.
It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. If they're listen to it like that.
Well, they could tune in at any point, or did they actually start from the beginning?
Well, the way that I listen to podcasts is I download them on my phone whenever I hit like a Wi-Fi thing, and then I just listen to them from there. And then you listen to parts because some people will tell me like they're like, man, like that podcast is like 2 hours and a half. That was like way too long. It's mostly people that like aren't used to like the style of this podcast. I'm like, yeah, but mostly podcasts, what you do is you listen to like it in blocks, Yeah. I drive down to town. There's a half an hour. I drive back. There's another half an hour. I'm working on some drawings. There's another hour. There, it's done. That's how it kind of. It's not like I'm sitting down and listening to the whole thing in one full sitting.
See, that's my problem. I will listen to the whole thing because we just went on questions that needed to be answered, basically there. All right, and we put our own. You guys basically put your own twist on it. I was listening, most part, and then I threw my, pitch in there, my own ideas. So, yeah.
But yeah, so.
I'll let.
Before we get like a third ending, go see The Hobbit. I kid you not, you'll love the hell out of it. It's damn good.
See The Hobbit tonight.
But it does just feel like the ending of number 2, just like the extended cut ending. And I'm not saying that's like a bad thing. I mean, you get a copious amount of fucking action in it.
Stoked.
Mm-hmm. Sam, I just will say to you, I'm really glad seeing you. Keep an eye on that fucking helicopter thing. Keep an eye on it. I don't trust it. I respect
it. Might try to kill you in the middle of the night.
Watch it.
Oh, no, I trained it to
literally
kill my
watch the
roommates
GoPro
first.
chasing us right now.
Oh, dude.
It's gonna hover. I'm gonna open my shades this morning.
You're like, get that thing away from me, Sam.
Hovering right there, like, hello, Ryan. How are you today? Remember me? That it tries to crash the window.
Just a little missile launcher on the bomb,
Caved in, like,
I won't let you
I'll be
do
back
that,
after
Sam.
a few upgrades.
I know exactly. I'd just be like, I
We should
won't
probably
let you do that, Sam.
cut the show.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna go on.
But till then, check out oldmanorange.com. And I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
Right.
But you might want to try that again. That just all cut out for you. You're just like, I'm...
Oh, yeah, I just heard the doodle. Yeah.
I'm Samuel Curran.
And then we also had Caden on here.
I'm Ryan
and
Dunnigan.
Sadly, he's missed towards the end of our episode.
We lost him to Cookie Wars.
I don't know. Yeah, he's probably just like, God, who's this guy on the other end? He just goes around fucking Cheetos all day long.
I think it was Cheeto fucking that threw him along.
It's all he knows about you, though.
No, he just planted that thought into his head. Thank you for that.
And everyone's like, yeah, we already fucking knew
Is that what you guys
It's
are talking
like,
about at
you
fucking
didn't
dinner?
know.
Like, yeah, you won't believe what this guy does.
It's okay.
Man.
It's all
Telling
live with
you
his
right
wallet.
now.
He's talking about getting some
All right, we should get ahead now.
from the Twain Art Market or something.
He's like, man, I'm gonna try fucking him now. Like, that sounds like a good time, man. Hell, if I get all really fucking hopped up, I can go jump in my bathtub and pour a bunch of cheesy poops on me.
Oh, this is so delicious. No. All right.
But yeah, till then. Okay,
Good.
goodbye.
That was fun.
Yeah, we'll see you later, folks.
Thanks for listening to the Old Man Orange podcast. Check out our website at oldmanorange.com for even more podcasts, cartoons, videos, music, and more. Send us an email at oldmanorangepodcast@yahoo.com. Be sure to subscribe, share, rate, and review us on iTunes, Podomatic, or any of the other fine sites we might be located on. If you want to help out even more, click on the Amazon or GameStop links on our webpage before you make any purchases there. It won't cost you a penny, but it sends us a little something our way. Thanks again, and tune in next week for more Old Man Orange Podcast.